Chapter 195. Tang Bao was so angry that her face was about to contort. You're allowed to eat outside, but I'm not allowed to eat and go shopping? However, Tang Bao didn't dare to be rude to Di Haotian. Especially when Di Haotian yelled at her, her little heart trembled. But she didn't want others to see her terrified look. She walked out of the restaurant and said, "Don't tell me you're already back? I was afraid that you'd be bored in the castle alone, so I came back to accompany you after I finished my business. But you're having so much fun that I can't even see you." Tang Bao touched her nose guiltily. I didn't know you'd come back so early. Didn't I say I'd come back after eating?" Di Haotian's questioning voice was very dangerous. "How would I know if you're telling the truth?" "How much longer?" Di Haotian suppressed his anger and asked. "I've just started shopping." Tang Bao thought for a while and said, "I'll pick you up now." "I'll go back now," Tang Bao said immediately. After saying that, she hung up the phone with a bang. Tang Bao looked at the sky helplessly. Di Haotian had specially finished his business and came back to accompany her. If she didn't go back, it wouldn't make sense. The point was, she didn't dare not to go back. After returning to the castle, just as she entered the European-style gate, she saw Zhang Li waiting for her outside. "Young madam, young Master D is unhappy. Don't provoke him. It's okay." I could hear how unhappy he was on the phone. "Sigh, it's really hard to be a person. It's even harder to be Di Haotian's woman." Tang Bao shook her head. "It's hard for you to come out and tell me. Do you also think that your master is particularly difficult to serve? That's the right way to think." Tang Bao sighed and went in. Zhang Li. After entering, Di Haotian was sitting on the sofa in the hall with a dark face. When he saw her, his long and narrow eyes narrowed. Tang Bao almost staggered and fell. No wonder Zhang Li went to help her get some fresh air. "Where are you from?" Di Haotian asked in an unfriendly tone. "I was in Ling City when you called me. I came back as soon as I hung up." "It only takes an hour to return from this distance, but you took an entire hour and 15 minutes. There was a bit of a traffic jam. If you get stuck in traffic again, give me a call. I'll get the helicopter to pick you up." What else could Tang Bao say? She couldn't say anything. Just because he was 15 minutes late. Tang Bao walked over, glanced at Di Haotian and asked, "What did you have for dinner?" "Just eat whatever you want." "Have you changed the gauze on your hand?" Tang Bao's gaze fell on Di Haotian's hand and asked. Di Haotian's dark eyes were slightly stunned. The gauze on her hand was different from the one in the morning. This little thing was actually so meticulous. He really liked her cleverness. "I moved my wound on the way here and changed the gauze." "I told you it was different from the one in the morning. How could you be so careless?" "What did the doctor say? Is the wound serious? If it tears again, it will be more troublesome for it to heal, right?" Tang Bao said. "Baby, are you worried about me?" Di Haotian's eyes were teasing. "I'm worried that you'll ask me to feed you again." Tang Bao didn't admit it. Di Haotian looked at the way her eyes were flickering. It was as if a cat's paw was scratching his heart. It made him want to do all kinds of bad things to her. He wanted to see her cry and scream under him. The next day, Tang Bao was playing games in his office. A message from Master popped up on his phone screen. Tang Bao was stunned. It seemed that he hadn't heard from Master for a long time. She didn't take the initiative to look for him either. But what did he send her? Tang Bao was speechless when he opened it. "Master, baby, do you miss me?" Alluring Bower, "Of course not. Master, I miss you." Alluring Bower, "Don't you have a wife?" "Master, I'm thinking about my wife." Tang Bao thought that she was thinking too much. Alluring Bower, "Why are you looking for me if you miss your wife?" "Master, what are you busy with?" Alluring Bower, "Playing games." "Master, I'm playing with you." Alluring Bower, "Really? You know how to play?" "Master, yes." Tang Bao felt that it was interesting. So she had a secret comrade? Would she win if they fought? "I say, don't you think this isn't very good?" Wan Malay faintly swayed behind Tang Bao. You peeked at me chatting. Tang Bao, is this master the young emperor? Wan Malay said. How is that possible? Chatting with you and playing games with you. I think only the young emperor would dote on you so much. Wan Malay said jokingly. After saying that, she went back to her seat. However, Wan Malay's words made Tang Bao stunned. Her mind seemed to have been woken up by something. At first, Tang Bao felt that this friend request was very strange. She thought that someone from the public relations department added her. At that time, she was thinking too much and didn't think about anything else. She didn't want to think about it. Now, the more she thought about it, the more she felt that there was something wrong with this friend. Because even if she added her, she had to get her consent, right? Why was she in the friend list? Later, when she met with Di Haotian, Tang Bao suddenly felt her scalp go numb. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that this person was like Di Haotian. Tang Bao looked at her master for a long time. Then, she typed, Ask what? Ask for his name? She asked the first time, but he didn't tell her. This time, he wouldn't tell her either. Would he tell her if she asked his wife's name? If it was Di Haotian, he definitely wouldn't let her find out. At night, when Di Haotian was taking a shower, Tang Bao touched Di Haotian's cell phone. Tang Bao never touched Di Haotian's cell phone. This time, she wanted to find out the truth. She swiped the screen and found that there was no password. Then, Tang Bao saw the same chat software as hers. She opened the software again. When she saw the word master and the chat history with charming Baoer, she almost smashed her cell phone. This was a lie. A lie. He even pretended to be calm. The last time they met, she was scared. Tang Bao was furious. Di Haotian was definitely a super great demon of the century. The cell phone suddenly vibrated. Tang Bao was so scared that she almost threw her cell phone away. She took a closer look. Gu Linshan? Tang Bao curled her lips in disdain. She stood at the bathroom door with her cell phone and called the person inside. Di Haotian, your call? Who is it? It's someone you don't want me to say the name of. Tang Bao was very vengeful. Leave it. Oh. Tang Bao threw the cell phone on the bedside table and let it vibrate. She turned over to the bed and played with her cell phone. When she saw the chat software on her cell phone, Tang Bao was going crazy. Especially when she saw her master quietly sitting there, she wanted to bite him to death. How dare he tease her like this? Tang Bao made up her mind. She wouldn't confront Di Haotian. Since he wanted to lie to her, she might as well beat him at his own game. After Di Haotian came out, she played with her cell phone calmly. Chapter 196. Tang Bao glanced at Di Haotian. On his chiseled face, his dark eyebrows were slightly furrowed. She couldn't hear what Gu Linshan said on the other end, but it was definitely not something good. Tang Bao wanted to continue looking at Di Haotian's face, but Di Haotian turned away. She couldn't see anything. She only heard Di Haotian's unhappy voice. Do you mean now? Yes, now. What about tomorrow? She can't run away if I don't sleep with her for one night. Di Haotian hung up the phone without hesitation. He only turned around after calming down the irritation in his heart. Tang Bao looked at Di Haotian, who looked upset, and asked, What's the matter? I'm going to the Middle East. Something happened to Gu Linshan. He's dying? Tang Bao asked bluntly. But it was also the truth. If he wasn't dying, why was he in such a hurry? Something like that. Are you going now? Di Haotian walked over and sat on the edge of the bed. He touched Tang Bao's face with his big hand. Her petite face was too small to hold. Ju stays here. I'll come back as soon as possible. Di Haotian didn't want to leave Tang Bao alone to sleep here at this time. But Gu Linshan had helped him before. Gu Linshan usually didn't ask for help from others. It must be a tricky matter that he couldn't handle at this time. Why does Ju stay with me? There's no need for that. Let him follow you. It was obvious. Going to the Middle East wouldn't be a good thing. I'm relieved to leave him here. How long will you be there? A week at the latest. Tang Bao nodded. She didn't want to show her disappointment. Di Haotian's face suddenly pressed against hers, and his thin lips devoured her lips. Tang Bao's long eyelashes fluttered, but she didn't push him away. She let him devour her. Di Haotian left by helicopter. Tang Bao ran downstairs and chased after him. Di Haotian stood in front of the plane and looked at her. Tang Bao's heart tightened as if it would break at any moment. Then, he watched as Di Haotian boarded the plane. The cabin door closed and the plane took off. The grass under the ground was blown in waves. Tang Bao's long hair was also messed up by the wind. However, who would care about this? All that was left was her messy hair, and her small face that was even fairer in the night. Zhang Li and Lian stood in the distance and looked at the motionless Tang Bao on the lawn. He didn't feel good either. Especially Zhang Li, who had revealed his feelings. What should we do? The young master went to the Middle East. Didn't he leave the young madam alone in the castle? How pitiful. Lian glanced at her and said, "The young emperor will come back? Of course I know I'll be back, but it'll be a few days later. The young madam is guarding the empty room alone every day. Don't you think it's pitiful?" After Zhang Li finished speaking, he saw Tang Bao walking over. He immediately stopped saying such discouraging words. He was afraid that Tang Bao would feel even worse if he heard it. Tang Bao lowered his head and walked past them without saying a word. That dejected and pitiful look made Zhang Li's motherly love overflow. Then, Zhang Li and Lian silently followed behind him and returned to the castle. They silently watched Tang Bao go upstairs and return to his room. His desolate back view was simply. Zhang Li sighed. But before he could finish exhaling, I'm free. The great devil is finally gone. I'm so happy. Tang Bao rushed out of the room. He was happy as he ran, as excited as if he had been injected with chicken blood. Zhang Li, Lian. Tang Bao immediately leaned on the guardrail and said to everyone, "I'm telling you, I'm the one who has the final say in the castle. Whatever I want to eat, whatever I want to play, whatever time I want to play, whatever time I want to play, whatever time I want to shop, as late as I want to shop. Ha 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 ha." After saying that, Tang Bao bounced back to his room. The door was slammed shut. Lian silently looked at Zhang Li as if to ask, "Didn't you say that she was pitiful?" Then, he turned around and left. Zhang Li was speechless. How could he have known that the young madam would make such a big change? Who would have thought? As soon as Di Haotian left, Tang Bao stretched and began to play games. No matter what, she wouldn't go to bed until 11 o'clock. It was great that Di Haotian wasn't around. He could play as he pleased. However, just as it was 10 o'clock, Tang Bao's eyes began to feel sleepy. The sound of knocking on the door made Tang Bao's whole body tremble. Zhang Li's voice said, "Young madam, you can sleep now. It's not good for your health to sleep too late." "I'm already asleep," Tang Bao roared. "Zhang Li, why are you still talking when you're asleep?" Tang Bao originally wanted to play for another half an hour to pass this level. When Zhang Li shouted, she yawned even faster. So, she didn't even turn off the computer and fell on the bed. She closed her eyes and went to sleep. Tang Bao, who slept until midnight, habitually touched the person next to her. However, she didn't touch anything. She couldn't help but wake up. Only then did she remember that Di Haotian had returned to the Middle East. Tang Bao lay down in a daze again. Tang Bao went to the company and immediately said to Wan Malay, "I didn't have enough shopping last night. Let's continue today." "Can I trust you again?" Wan Malay's trust in Tang Bao had obviously fallen to the negatives. "Of course. I'll treat you to a meal today, and then we'll go shopping. We can even watch a movie. Didn't you say that there's a blockbuster screening last time? Let's go watch it after shopping. Are you okay? Do you really want to watch it? I don't want you to run away after watching half of it." Last night, Tang Bao ran away after receiving Di Haotian's call. Her memory wasn't that bad. Definitely not. Tang Bao promised. But Wan Malay thought for a moment and said, "Forget it, I'm not going." "Why?" "Because you're not trustworthy. Di Haotian went to the Middle East. Do you believe me now?" Tang Bao said helplessly, "I believe you. You're hurting your self-esteem." Tang Bao was depressed. "What self-esteem do you have in front of the young master? Don't be a coward. I admire you so much. F***ck. You try." Tang Bao was unhappy when he heard that. She cared about self-esteem the most. She would get angry with whoever said that she didn't have it. "I don't want to try." "Oh right, why did the young master go to the Middle East? Did he go to look for Gu Linshan?" Speaking of this, Tang Bao's expression changed. He said to Wan Malay, "There's something I have to tell you. Don't worry too much." "What?" Wan Malay was nervous by her expression. "Gu Linshan might be dying," Tang Bao said with a serious expression. "Huh. I don't know if Di Haotian can save him." Wan Malay was so shocked that she dropped the document in her hand. "Are you okay?" Tang Bao asked with concern. "What happened? Why is he dying?" "I don't know. Di Haotian went directly last night. He must be dying. If he wasn't dying, would he be in such a hurry?" Tang Bao said seriously. Chapter 197. I think so too. Are we still eating, shopping, and watching movies tonight? Of course, nothing will happen to Gu Linshan. Why shouldn't I go? If I don't go, it will seem like something will happen to him. What he said seemed to make sense. After work and leaving the company, they were like fish that had been set free, swimming freely in the sea. Especially since they didn't have to worry about being attacked by sharks. Eating, shopping, and watching movies, they were free. Of course, it would be even better if He-Ju didn't appear from time to time. The two of them each held a drink and chatted as they walked in front. "I feel that it's especially scary. I can't see He-Ju, but why is he always there when we stop?" "He's indeed the young emperor's bodyguard," Wan Malay said emotionally. "Isn't he awesome?" Tang Bao asked. "Yes, he's pretty awesome. You can't find anyone more awesome than Di Haotian in D City." Tang Bao sighed. "Otherwise, why would he be called the king of D City?" Tang Bao smiled evilly. "That's why there are women like me who are worthy of him." "What kind of woman are you?" Wan Malay was curious. "The queen of D City." "Do you have any shame?" "What shame? Is it delicious?" The two of them stayed in the dark theater. Once the lights were off, they couldn't see each other's faces. But Tang Bao felt that He-Ju was hidden somewhere. As Tang Bao stared at the movie on the big screen, he thought to himself, if Gu Linshan is very dangerous, then Di Haotian is also going to be in danger, right? However, he said that he would be back in a week at the latest. After watching the movie, it was almost 10 o'clock. Tang Bao and Wan Malay were still shopping. They bought food and went to the night park to sit and enjoy the night breeze. "I had so much fun today," Tang Bao said. "You can only play like this when the young master isn't around, so cherish it." Although Tang Bao was not convinced, Wan Malay was telling the truth. She was rendered speechless. He could only eat the food in his hand to vent his anger. "Young madam, we can go back now." He-Ju suddenly appeared. "It's not even 10 o'clock yet?" Tang Bao was unhappy. She knew it. He-Ju's presence was not a good thing. Just like Di Haotian's other pair of eyes. "Young madam, do you want me to call the young master now?" He-Ju wasn't in a hurry and just said this. Tang Bao immediately lost all his anger. Wan Malay stood up and walked over to He-Ju. "Can't you just turn a blind eye?" "No. It's rare for the Tang Bao to be played like this, right? Why do you have to be so cold?" Wan Malay wanted to persuade He-Ju. However, they muttered about He-Ju's heart that couldn't be melted no matter what. Tang Bao didn't want Di Haotian to call, so he could only go back to his home with Wan Malay. In the car, Wan Malay even said, "Let me tell you, the young master's bodyguard is really unreasonable. I've experienced it once before. He's so cold that it's as if someone owes him a lot of money. Wan Malay was talking about the time when she had dinner with Di Haotian and Gu Linshan on Tang Bao. Just because she said that he was cold, the door opened. Just as Wan Malay finished speaking, the car stopped. Have we arrived? Tang Bao asked. No. He Ju got out of the car, opened the car door, and directly pulled Wan Malay out. Then, he closed the door, got in the car, and drove away. Wan Malay was left alone on the road. He was in a daze and didn't know what had happened. F***CK. Are you still human? Wan Malay shouted after he came back to his senses. Tang Bao was also dumbfounded. Wan Malay, who was leaning against the window and looking further and further away, asked He Ju in horror, "What are you doing?" "I only need to be responsible for the young madam. I don't care about the others." He Ju continued to drive. "But Malay is my friend. You don't have to do this, right?" "I don't like people saying that I'm cold," He Ju said. Tang Bao only realized now that He Ju was not to be trifled with. There was something he didn't like? She had thought that he would be able to maintain his cold side no matter what. It seemed that saying that He Ju was cold had touched his bottom line. Then what about Wan Malay? Tang Bao hurriedly called Wan Malay. "Are you okay? What do you think? I'll order He Ju to drive the car back now." She thought that if He Ju didn't obey, she would take out her aura as the young madam. "There's no need. I'm already in a taxi." "Ah, I see." Tang Bao was very embarrassed. He wanted to kick He Ju to death. "Then send me a message when you get home." After returning to the castle, Tang Bao was about to call Di Haotian in his room to complain. He had already thought of how to add fuel to the fire. However, he couldn't get through to Di Haotian's phone. What was going on? Something happened? Tang Bao was so scared that he quickly ran out of the room. "He Ju! Young madam!" A voice sounded behind him. Tang Bao was so scared that he almost dropped the phone in his hand. "Why can't I get through to Di Haotian's phone?" Tang Bao asked. "It's daytime on the young master's side now. He should be dealing with something. The young master said that for safety reasons, there's no need to contact him for 3 days, He Ju said. "Then why didn't he tell me?" "Maybe the young master thought that you wouldn't call him, so he told me directly." Tang Bao thought about whether she had taken the initiative to call Di Haotian before. Did she or not? In other words, I can't contact him for 3 days? Yes. Tang Bao had no choice but to return to his room. Meanwhile, in Gu Linshan's temporary mountaintop villa in the Middle East, the scenery outside was pleasant and refreshing. However, it was not so relaxed inside. There were 3 layers of bodyguards inside and outside. The interior of the villa was luxurious like heaven on earth. Gu Linshan sat on the sofa and leisurely tasted his coffee. Di Haotian, who was sitting not too far away, stared at him coldly with his dark eyes. "What's the use of staring at me? The other party is on guard everywhere, afraid that I'll do something in the dark. It's not a bad thing to be cautious," Gu Linshan said as he glanced at him with a faint gaze. "So in order not to arouse suspicion, you can't even use the communication device? You want to call the person at home?" Di Haotian's expression became even colder. "Don't be anxious. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. There are only benefits. Give me an exact time." "I'm not sure either." Gu Linshan expressed helplessness. "That old man is more difficult to deal with, but now is not the time to deal with him. He really gives me a headache." Di Haotian's face was cold as he said, "Computer?" "No." Gu Linshan refused immediately. Just as Gu Linshan finished speaking, his phone rang. Only the other party would call this number. Gu Linshan answered without even looking at the number. Then, he walked to the balcony and faced the green mountains and clear waters outside. Chapter 198. After the call, Gu Linshan walked in. "I need to go out? Now?" "No, it's not a big shot. You don't have to show up." Gu Linshan left with his suit jacket. Di Haotian looked around for something to communicate with. In the end, he only found a laptop. He was lying on the bed and playing with the puppy hanging on the table lamp when his phone flashed. Tang Bao jumped up. It was not a call from Di Haotian, but it was almost the same as a call. It was from the owner. Tang Bao knew who the owner was. Owner, are you asleep? Alluring Baoer, not yet. What are you doing? Owner, drinking coffee. Tang Bao's expression immediately became ferocious. He thought he was going on an adventure, but he was drinking coffee? He was in the mood to drink coffee, but he couldn't make a call? Tang Bao was unhappy. Alluring Baoer, you must be having a good time. Is your wife not here? Owner, no. Alluring Baoer, is that why you are looking for me? Owner, do you miss me? Alluring Baoer, yes, I miss you so much. Owner, where? Alluring Baoer, where do you want me to miss you? Owner, are you missing me or not? Damn it. If Tang Bao didn't know this was Di Haotian, she would have blacklisted him. He only knows how to be a hooligan. Alluring Baoer, yes, I miss you very much. How about a video call? Owner, okay. Alluring Baoer, wait, I will video call you on the computer. Tang Bao immediately ran to Di Haotian's study. He locked the door after entering. Then he turned on Di Haotian's computer. He downloaded the chatting software on the computer and logged in. He sent a smiley emoji over. Then he linked the video call. In front of the video link, Tang Bao pulled out a napkin and covered her face. The two corners of the napkin were clipped to her ears, revealing only two big watery eyes. After the video was linked, Tang Bao could only see the part below Di Haotian's neck, which meant that he could not see his face. However, Tang Bao's heart still palpitated when he saw the familiar tall and muscular body. TSK, he still knew to contact her? Master, you even know how to cover your face. Alluring Baoer, because I know you will cover it up, I don't want to show it to you. Master, how is it? Are you satisfied with my figure? Tang Bao thought to himself, satisfied? Let's see who's more satisfied. Tang Bao had taken a shower earlier and was wearing pajamas. The neckline was loose. Facing the camera, Tang Bao pretended to feel an itch on his shoulder and scratched it with his hand. As she scratched, the neckline of her pajamas opened, revealing some of her breasts. Di Haotian's eyes immediately deepened. He stared straight at her snow-white skin, wishing he could tear her pajamas apart. Tang Bao looked at the video and naturally knew what kind of situation he was in. Alluring Baoer, your figure looks pretty good. Master, are you satisfied? Alluring Baoer, I'll go get some milk. Master, okay. Tang Bao stood up and went to the study to ask Zhang Li for milk. After the milk was served, Tang Bao closed the study door sneakily and returned to the video. Facing the video was like drinking milk. Did Tang Bao really want to drink milk? Of course not. As she drank, the milk spilled all over her body. Ouch! Tang Bao pretended to be shocked and quickly wiped it with his hand. The more he wiped, the more wet the area stained by the milk became. It made people fantasize all kinds of things. Especially Di Haotian, whose body was always the most honest. Tang Bao typed, Alluring Baoer, I'm sorry I accidentally spilled the milk. Master, lick it clean. Alluring Baoer, I can't lick it. Master, lick your fingers. Tang Bao did as he was told. Even without the voice chat, Tang Bao could imagine how heavy Di Haotian's breathing was. Can't hold it anymore? Who told you to lie to me? Who told you not to call me? Master, let me see your hands. Tang Bao showed him her soft, white, and tender hands. Master, change out of your pajamas. Alluring Baoer, no, my husband said that I can't show it to anyone except him. Master, what do I have to do to show it to me? Alluring Baoer, I won't show it to you no matter what. Master, you're seducing me. Alluring Baoer, so what? Master, baby, when did you find out it was me? Tang Bao typed ferociously. Alluring Baoer, you found out. Master, turn on the voice chat. Tang Bao turned on the voice chat. And they didn't need to cover their faces. Tang Bao immediately saw Di Haotian's handsome face, which was carved with a knife and a sword. When Di Haotian saw Tang Bao's angry little face, he couldn't help but feel tempted. How do you know that I already know you're my master? Tang Bao asked. Do you dare to seduce other men behind my back? Di Haotian asked confidently. Tang Bao was speechless. She really didn't dare. Wasn't it because they knew that Di Haotian would do this? Pour the milk on yourself and take a milk bath for me to see. Don't blame me if I make a mess on your table. I'll allow it. Tang Bao thought, you want to see it so much? Of course. You can see it, but you can't eat it. Tang Bao didn't pour the milk. Instead, he turned his back to the camera and unbuttoned his clothes. After unbuttoning them, he threw them on the table. Baby, turn around. Di Haotian's voice became heavier. Okay. Tang Bao turned around, but he put on his pajamas. Everything became faintly discernible. This made Di Haotian want to go through the computer and take off his pajamas. Tang Bao didn't just do that. She also seduced Di Haotian. Anyway, she didn't dare to do anything in front of Di Haotian in the past. Now, she had to do it even if her face was red. This was Di Haotian's punishment. Who asked him to bully her all the time? Gu Linshan didn't see the other party. The other party was too cunning. This was just a test. So he came back. However, he didn't expect to hear the abnormal sounds of a man and a woman when he stood at the door of Di Haotian's room. Tang Bao's voice couldn't be closed even if the door of the room was closed. Gu Linshan felt hot all over when he heard it. Di Haotian walked out of the room with a calm expression. When he saw Gu Linshan sitting on the sofa, he asked, You didn't see him? You'll see him next time. Tang Bao lay on the bed with a red face. Her heart was beating very fast. She originally wanted to seduce Di Haotian. How did she get herself involved? If she wanted to blame someone, she could only blame Di Haotian for being too insidious. No. If this happened again, she would definitely not let Di Haotian have his way. Tang Bao was alone in the castle. Even going to the company became lazy. In the morning, she didn't want to go to the company when she fell asleep. She would think about it when she had enough sleep. However, someone disturbed her sleep early in the morning. Tang Bao sleepily opened her eyes and saw Zhang Li standing by the bed. She asked, What are you doing? I'll go to the company in the afternoon. No, it's old madam. Chapter 199. Zhang Li nodded with a pained expression. I'm the one who's in pain. Why are you in pain? I'm in pain for you. Tang Bao was scared out of his wits. He quickly got up. After washing up, Tang Bao went to Yu Songhuan as if he was facing a great enemy and called out, Mom. Yu Songhuan, who was sitting on the sofa, held a teacup and glanced at Tang Bao from head to toe. She said with disdain, What time is it? Why haven't you gotten up yet? I overslept. It won't happen again, Tang Bao promised. You don't have to promise me. No matter how much you promise, I won't admit that you're the daughter-in-law of the Di family. Yu Songhuan didn't hide her dislike for Tang Bao. Tang Bao pursed his lips and said, Mom, Di Haotian and I are already married. You can't do anything if you don't admit it, right? Why don't you accept me? You want me to accept you? Yes. Tang Bao nodded heavily. Come to the bungalow with me for a while. Let me see if I should accept you. What for? You talk too much, Yu Songhuan said coldly. Tang Bao was speechless. Zhang Li immediately went forward. Old madam, can you take me with you? When young Master Di left the castle, he told me not to let anything happen to young madam. Do you think something will happen to her at my place? Yu Songhuan asked. Zhang Li said nervously, That's not the case. Then shut up and do what you have to do. Tang Bao cursed silently. Di Haotian's personality was mostly inherited from his mother. After Di Haotian left, Di Haotian's mother came. Tang Bao hesitated and said, Mom, I have to go to the company in the afternoon. I have to work every day. If I go to the bungalow, I can only go during my break. You don't want to go, right? Absolutely not. Alright, there was. Don't think that I don't know anything just because I don't leave the house. Isn't your company supported by Haotian? So, you don't have to worry that the company will close down if you're not around. Tang Bao muttered in his heart. Even if it was the truth, his words were really harsh. Tang Bao felt that Yu Songhuan knew that Di Haotian was not around, so he came to look for her. The Tang Bao could only be found. After arriving at the bungalow, seeing Yu Songhuan sit down, Tang Bao prepared to sit down as well. However, before her but landed on the sofa, she heard Yu Songhuan's serious voice. "Go get me some tea." Tang Bao's buttocks stiffened, then he stood up and poured her a cup of tea. Yu Songhuan's tea was specially prepared for her. Therefore, Tang Bao did not know what Yu Songhuan liked in particular, so he asked the person who usually made tea for her before he began to pour her a cup of tea. After the tea was served, Yu Songhuan still wanted to be picky, but he did not expect that he could not find anything. It seemed that this girl was doing it for someone else. She was very meticulous. After pouring the tea and seeing that Yu Songhuan drank the tea without saying anything, Tang Bao put down the cup. Just as he was about to sit down on the sofa again, Yu Songhuan spoke again. "Don't you need to prepare lunch?" Tang Bao's buttocks stiffened and he stood up straight again. I don't know how to cook." "Learn as you cook." Tang Bao went to cook resignedly. Whether it was the bungalow or the castle, there were so many servants. Did they need her to cook? It was obvious that they brought her here to torture her. The key point was that Tang Bao did not dare to look for Di Haotian. She only hoped that Di Haotian would come back quickly to save her. What was the difference between these 2 points? There was a big difference. If she asked Di Haotian to come back and Di Haotian did something, then Yu Songhuan would definitely have a bad opinion of her. He would even hate her more than before. If Di Haotian came back by himself, then it would have nothing to do with Tang Bao. Tang Bao went to the kitchen and was completely in the dark. She had never touched anything in the kitchen in her life. Tang Bao had also never cooked a meal for her parents. She was really unfilial. Therefore, it was not a big deal to cook for Di Haotian's mother. She would just treat it as being filial. Which one is the salt? Why do I feel that they all look the same? Tang Bao asked the chefs next to him. The chefs were speechless. Tang Bao had to first learn about the various seasonings before thinking about what dishes to cook. The chefs said that Yu Songhuan ate lighter and vegetarian dishes. Fortunately, it was still okay. If she were to cook the food in the castle, she would have to go outside and learn from a professional before she could do it. "A little salt," the chefs reminded. "How much is a little salt?" Tang Bao raised his head and asked seriously. The chefs were speechless. Yu Songhuan went to the kitchen door and glanced at Tang Bao, who was cooking seriously, before turning around and going back to his room to rest. Tang Bao took more than 2 hours to cook a meal. There were only 3 vegetarian dishes, but it made her dizzy. Yu Songhuan sat at the table, and Tang Bao stood beside him. After Yu Songhuan tasted it, his expression did not change. Tang Bao thought, could it change? She had tasted it before. "Sit down and eat with me." "Don't say that I mistreated you," Yu Songhuan said. Tang Bao cursed in her heart, "You call this not mistreating me?" Although she thought about it, she still sat down. But in the face of a lunch full of vegetarian dishes, Tang Bao really had to eat it. Otherwise, wouldn't she be hungry? Moreover, she might have to do something in the afternoon. She had a feeling that Yu Songhuan would not let her off so easily. After eating, Tang Bao pushed the door open. Yu Songhuan said, "Aren't you going to wash the dishes?" "Tang Bao, you come to my place. You do all the housework. Don't wait for things to come to you. Find something to do yourself. After washing the dishes, go outside to water the plants, and then come back to clean up. These are the basics." After saying this, Yu Songhuan got up and left. Tang Bao looked at the plates and bowls on the table. She wanted to cry but had no tears. She stood up and went to wash the dishes. Bang! 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 The servant went to the room to report to Yu Songhuan. "There are a total of 6 bowls." Young madam dropped 4. If you don't have enough bowls, go buy more. Yu Song-hwan was not angry. He was reading her Buddhist scriptures. Yes. Tang Bao was worried that she would be scolded for dropping the bowls. Surprisingly, she was not scolded. Not bad. But she couldn't take a breather yet. She had to go outside to tend to the plants. When she went outside, she watered the plants. She looked around and shouted, "He Jew?" No one. "He Jew." Still no one. Tang Bao sighed. When I don't need you, you always appear. When I need you, you're nowhere to be seen. How infuriating! After watering the plants, Tang Bao's arm was about to break. She went back to the house and started cleaning. Tang Bao looked at the Buddha statue in the temple and muttered, "You're obviously a merciful person. Why do you have to make things difficult for a little girl like me? I'm so pitiful. Sigh, Di Haotian, when are you coming back? I'm going to lose weight because of your mother." It was impossible for Bodhisattva to bring Di Haotian to her. Tang Bao resigned to her fate and began to wipe Bodhisattva's body. Then, she accidentally bumped into Bodhisattva. Chapter 200. With a clang, it broke into pieces. Tang Bao stared at the broken pieces on the ground and sucked in a breath of cold air. She felt like she was going to die. The servants rushed over when they heard the commotion. Yu Song-hwan also rushed over. When he saw the broken things on the ground, he was so shocked that he swayed. Fortunately, he was supported by the servants next to him. Otherwise, he would have fallen to the ground. "Mom, I didn't do it on purpose." This Bodhisattva lost her balance and fell to the ground. "How about this, I'll buy you another one." Tang Bao had never bought this kind of thing before and didn't believe in it. Moreover, she thought that this kind of thing could be found elsewhere and could be replaced by another one. Therefore, she didn't know how serious this matter was for Yu Song-hwan. This was the Bodhisattva that Yu Song-hwan had worshipped for more than 10 years. She was thrown to the ground by Tang Bao just like that. This was different from the bowl in the kitchen. Yu Song-hwan was so angry that he was trembling all over. "Get out! Can I go home now? You want to go home after smashing my things? Stand outside and don't come in without my permission." Tang Bao thought that she had profited from this disaster. She didn't expect that she still couldn't leave this place. Tang Bao walked out and stood outside, leaning against the wall dejectedly. Why was she so unlucky? She was still thinking about taking this opportunity to build a good relationship with Di Haotian's mother. Therefore, it was necessary for her to work hard without complaint. She took the opportunity and did this. Now, Di Haotian's mother probably wanted to skin her alive. She didn't skin her alive because of Di Haotian. "Old madam asked you to stand properly." Yu Song-hwan's personal servant, Auntie Wang, glared at her. Tang Bao shuddered and immediately stood properly. Seeing Auntie Wang turn around and go into the house, she breathed a sigh of relief. Auntie Wang knew that she wouldn't stand properly. She took out her cell phone from her pocket and called a chat app. She sent it to Master. "Alluring Bao, hello. Master, miss me? Alluring Bao, can't I look for you if I don't miss you? Master, what are you doing? Alluring Bao, eat, chat, and sunbathe. What about you? Master, lying on the bed, missing you." Only then did Tang Bao remember that it was already past midnight in Di Haotian. Still not sleeping? How could he restore her so quickly? "Alluring Bao, why aren't you sleeping yet? What are you doing with your phone? Could it be that he's dating another woman online?" Di Haotian looked at the paragraph and felt as if he could see Tang Bao's cute pouting face. He couldn't help but smile seductively. In fact, he had already fallen asleep, but even in his sleep, he was still very alert. His computer had been switched on, so he would wake up as soon as there was a message. Di Haotian deliberately sent a message. "Master, what if I have another woman? Babe, I'll castrate you." Di Haotian was in an even better mood. He was no longer sleepy. Tang Bao's face was full of anger. If he dared to find another woman for her, she wouldn't let him off. After a while, he sent another message. Master, I'll wait for your video call tonight. Ching Bao sure. Tang Bao thought to himself, I'll let you know the consequences of provoking me. At this moment, a call came in. It was from Wan Malay. Are you not going to come today? Could it be that the young master is back? Wan Malay asked. If only he were back. What's wrong? You can't even imagine what I'm going through now. Tang Bao gritted her teeth. What crime? I can't imagine what you're going through in the castle. I feel like you're moaning for no reason. Don't you know that once you enter a wealthy family, you're as deep as the sea? Is that the sea? Even if you fall into the sea, the young master is holding you. What are you afraid of? Wan Malay wasn't worried at all. But he can't hold me now, and I'm suffering. After talking for so long, I still don't know what you're going through. If you can't say it, then don't say it. I'm at Di Haotian's mother's place now. Tang Bao said in a low voice. What? Why did you go there? Oh, I know. You took advantage of the young master's absence to curry favor. What do you know? It was Di Haotian's mother who ran to the castle to bring me here. And I can't even resist in front of Di Haotian. Wan Malay was interested. Why did she catch you? Why? All the housework was done by me. You do housework? Do you know how to do it? If I don't, then I'm forced to do it. And I broke a Buddha statue just now, and I'm standing outside as punishment now. I feel like I'm a primary school student again. Then tell the young master to hurry back and save you. Wan Malay gave her an idea. But Tang Bao felt that this idea was useless. How can I? If my mother-in-law finds out that I called Di Haotian back, her impression of me will be even worse. Tang Bao sighed deeply. That's true. Wan Malay paused and asked, Then how long will you be working there? I'll definitely wait for Di Haotian to come back before they let me go. How many more days? At least 3 or 4 more days. Then bear with it. Wan Malay had no choice. The Empress Dowager was so scary. The most terrible and difficult thing to resolve in this world is the relationship between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. As long as you get married, this disaster is inevitable. I can't help you. I can help. Wan Malay was about to shut her mouth and not say anything. She wondered if she should just hang up the phone. She felt that it wouldn't be a good thing. She was tricked by Tang Bao all day long. I can bear with it if I do housework here. If I don't eat meat for 3 or 4 days, I'll die. Why, you don't even have meat to eat. Wan Malay was surprised. Yeah, his mother is vegetarian and praying to Buddha. If I eat with her, won't there be no meat to eat? That's true. If the young master knew about your current situation, he would be heartbroken. He usually doesn't even let you eat the company's food. He's afraid that you'll get sick. Great, now you don't even have meat soup to drink. Wan Malay knew Tang Bao very well. If there was no meat to eat, she would go crazy. Malay, I feel malnourished now. Bring me some food in the afternoon. Tang Bao wanted to say that it would not be easy to attract attention at night, but he thought that it was not safe for Wan Malay to be alone. In the afternoon? I have to go to work? Is work more important, or am I more important? Tang Bao was unhappy. Okay, I'll send it to you in the afternoon. Wan Malay compromised. But aren't you afraid that the young master's mother will find out that you're eating secretly? Throw it in from outside the fence. Okay, what do you want to eat? As long as there's meat. Tang Bao swallowed her saliva. Wan Malay could hear the saliva through the phone. How useless! Tang Bao stood outside for a few hours. She was about to faint before she was allowed to go in. Then, the servant brought her to her room. Chapter 201. The layout of the bungalow was also very particular. It was clean and comfortable, and most importantly, there was a sandalwood fragrance. It made people feel comfortable just by smelling it. Tang Bao was probably really tired and fell asleep just like that. He didn't have enough sleep. He was woken up by someone. Tang Bao looked tiredly at Mrs. Wang, who was standing by the bed, and asked, What's wrong? Continue cleaning. Oh right, the cleaning was not done yet. Tang Bao felt like he was back in the days of slavery. Did they have to order him around like this? Even the servants here didn't work as hard as him, right? And there were so many servants here. Now, he was doing all the work by himself. Old Madam has already let you sleep for an hour. Don't be discontent. I didn't say I wasn't satisfied. Tang Bao dragged his tired body to work. It had been almost 2 hours, but Tang Bao still hadn't finished. His phone vibrated. He took it out and looked. It was Wan Malay who sent the food. My friend is here. I'll go outside and take a look, Tang Bao said as he ran out. He ran to the wall and stood at the foot of it. Then, he saw a plastic box that was firmly tied up and thrown over. Tang Bao caught it. He opened it and took a look. The fragrance of meat assailed his nose. Tang Bao's mouth was full of saliva. Just as he was about to eat it with his hands, meat is not allowed here. Before Tang Bao could come back to his senses, the meat in his hands was taken away. Tang Bao looked at Mrs. Wang's serious face and asked, "You don't have to be so serious, right? It's old Madam who doesn't eat meat, but I do. No one eats meat here, so young Madam should also follow the rules here. Don't make it difficult for us servants." After Mrs. Wang said that, she took the hard-earned meat and left just like that. His phone rang. Wan Malay sent a message. "Is it delicious? Then I'll leave." Tang Bao sent a message. "Don't send it again." Wan Malay, why? Is it not delicious? Tang Bao, the meat was taken away. Tang Bao returned to the house, and could only vent his anger by cleaning. He wasn't done yet. Mrs. Wang came over to remind him, "It's time to make dinner." Tang Bao asked, "What if I'm not done cleaning? Let's continue after dinner." Tang Bao had no choice but to cook. It was still all vegetarian. But Tang Bao was hungry. He still ate 2 big bowls of rice during the meal. She couldn't help it. She didn't have any snacks to eat here. What a bitter life. After eating, he washed the dishes and poured tea for Yu Songhuan. After pouring out the tea, she continued to clean up the unfinished area. When it was almost 8 o'clock, Tang Bao dragged her body that was about to fall apart back to her room. His head was on the bed. Fortunately, this place was not as big as the castle. Was of course, Mrs. Of course, even if it. At this moment, she missed the castle too much. That was the life of a princess. She didn't even want to play with her phone after taking a shower. When Di Haotian sent her a video link, she rejected it. If Di Haotian found out that she was at his mother's house, he would know something, and his mother would think that she was tattling on her. "Master, didn't you say video? Alluring Bower. You want to video call me? Master, did I? Alluring Bower, yes. Master, what? Alluring Bower, you said you had another woman. Master, do you believe me? Alluring Bower, why wouldn't I believe you? I believe you. Master, I only have feelings for you now. Alluring Bower, what about others? Master, I only dislike them." Tang Bao pursed her lips into a smile. It made her feel much better. But she couldn't compromise. Alluring Bower, I'm sleepy. I want to sleep. Master, so early? Alluring Bower, I didn't take a nap in the afternoon. Master, okay, go to sleep. Tang Bao closed the chat app and put her phone on the bedside table. She yawned and wanted to sleep. She was too tired. She had never suffered so much in her life. Di Haotian, if you don't come back soon, your wife's life will be gone. When Tang Bao was woken up in the morning, she looked at the sky outside and thought it was the middle of the night. She looked at the time on her phone. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. Are all of you up so early? Tang Bao asked a little fearfully. Yes. Where's old Madam? She's taking a walk outside. When she comes back, she'll have breakfast. So you have to start preparing breakfast now. Tang Bao didn't say anything and went to the kitchen. What could she do? This was Di Haotian's only family. She couldn't quarrel with her, right? Forget it. Tang Bao thought about her mother and treated it as working for her. She did the same thing as yesterday. 3 meals a day. She had to clean every day. But she wasn't allowed to go to the temple. She let the other servants do the cleaning. It was more relaxing. Tang Bao noticed that a new bodhisattva had been installed in the temple. Thinking about Di Haotian's mother should feel better, right? When Tang Bao was cleaning in the afternoon, she didn't expect to have guests. These guests were none other than Li Yuhuai and Lan Wanru. They were here to see Yu Songhuan. Li Yuhuai saw that Tang Bao was also here. She immediately smiled and said, "Tang Bao is here too?" Second aunt. Tang Bao laughed dryly. Li Yuhuai immediately said to Yu Songhuan, "Sister-in-law, look at how good your daughter-in-law is. She even came to clean for you. How filial. It's really rare." Yu Songhuan didn't say anything. He ordered, "Why aren't you pouring tea?" Tang Bao put down her work and went to pour tea. She poured tea for Li Yuhuai and Lan Wanru. When she handed it to Lan Wanru looked at her coldly and mockingly. Tang Bao didn't try to hide anything. It was obvious from the moment Yu Songhuan started to give instructions. She was forced to do the housework here. Yu Songhuan's attitude was obvious. Tang Bao finished pouring tea and continued to do the housework. Li Yuhuai said embarrassedly, "Why don't we let Tang Bao sit down? She likes to do these things," Yu Songhuan said. Li Yuhuai didn't say anything. After Lan Wanru drank the tea, he couldn't help but frown and cough lightly. "What's wrong?" Li Yuhuai asked. "Are you not feeling well?" "It's nothing. It's probably because the water is a little cold," Lan Wanru said. "Then make it again," Yu Songhuan said. Tang Bao's expression didn't look too good. Couldn't she see that Lan Wanru was doing it on purpose? But she couldn't say anything in front of Yu Songhuan. She could only turn around and make tea again. After the tea was brewed. "Oh, it's so hot," Yu Songhuan asked Tang Bao unhappily. "What's wrong with you? Don't you know how to make tea? Go and pour another cup." Tang Bao glared at Lan Wanru fiercely. He went to make tea for her again. After the tea was served, Lan Wanru drank it. Now he was satisfied. But Tang Bao wasn't satisfied. Chapter 202. Lan Wanru's expression changed. "What did you say?" She immediately calmed down. "I don't believe it. How could soil fall in?" Tang Bao pointed to the side where the tea was poured and said, "Didn't you see? There's a potted plant there. How could soil from the potted plant fall into my tea?" Lan Wanru questioned. Tang Bao spread out her hands innocently. "How would I know? Maybe it fell in by accident." Li Yuhuai picked up the teacup in front of Lan Wanru and took a look. Her expression changed as well. "There really is soil in it," Yu Songhuan said. "Go pour another cup." "Auntie, there's no need. I don't want to drink any more," Lan Wanru said as she glared fiercely at Tang Bao. Tang Bao didn't take it seriously. She was willing to be Yu Songhuan's servant here. Who did Lan Wanru and her auntie think they were? Putting soil in her teacup was already a sign of her good temper. She hadn't put anything more disgusting in it yet. "I don't think this soil is anything bad. It's soil that absorbs the essence of heaven and earth. Maybe your body will recover after you drink it," Tang Bao said with a smile. "Are you done?" Yu Songhuan asked. "Yes. If you're done, then continue cleaning. Don't keep cleaning every day. When it's time, you still have to cook dinner," Yu Songhuan reminded her. Tang Bao went to work like a little wife. Lan Wanru felt much better when she saw this. She came here today to see Yu Songhuan. She didn't expect to see such an interesting thing. "I envy Tang Bao's body the most. I wish I could clean like this," Lan Wanru suddenly said. Tang Bao had a bad feeling. She felt that Lan Wanru wouldn't say anything good. This must be just the beginning. Yu Songhuan said with concern, "I see that your complexion is much better this time. You should be getting better, right?" "Yes. It's already a lot better. Just take some more medicine and you'll be able to recover," Lan Wanru said with a gentle smile. "Yeah, he's almost fully recovered. I still want to find a good marriage for her," Li Yuhuai said. That's true. Marriage can't be delayed, Yu Songhuan said. Something flashed in Li Yuhuai's eyes, and she said to Lan Wanru jokingly, I remember that sister-in-law used to say that she wanted you to be her daughter-in-law. Although it was just a joke, now that Hao Qian is married, don't you want to get married? Auntie, what are you talking about? Lan Wanru looked uneasy, and his eyes uneasily surrendered to Yu Songhuan. Yu Songhuan's expression changed. That's right, I did say that before. However, the child had grown up and was no longer obedient. Marriage is such a big thing, and I actually didn't know about it at all. Auntie, don't be sad. Brother Haotian had no choice. Besides, Tang Bao is a good person. He can do anything. However, it would be even better if he gave birth to a grandson for you now. Lan Wanru said. Tang Bao, who was cleaning and listening attentively, paused. Then she saw that Yu Songhuan's expression didn't look too good. Li Yuhuai added fuel to the fire. They've been married for 3 months, right? There doesn't seem to be any movement. They say that it's good to be young and fertile. If you can't have children, then you can't have children. Of course, Tang Bao can definitely have children. This child is very active. These words were very pleasant to the ears. However, the emphasis of these words was still on the meaning of not being able to have children. That was indeed the case. A normal person would basically become pregnant after 3 months of marriage. Tang Bao was so lively and did not look like someone who was pregnant at all. Besides, if you have children in the future, you can't be too active. Otherwise, it won't be good for the child, Li Yuhuai continued. He had praised her for being active for less than a minute, but it was another way of saying it. I think that with Brother Haotian around, the child in Tang Bao's stomach will be fine, Lan Wanru said. Tang Bao wanted to hit someone when he heard that. He said it as if it was true. She wasn't pregnant yet? She was still a virgin, okay? Why were they all talking about it? Li Yuhuai said again, why don't we go and ask? Tang Bao was stunned. Ask what? He didn't expect Yu Songhuan to really agree. That's fine too. We'll go to the Buddhist temple that I usually worship. Tang Bao was stunned. She thought that this was just a topic to humiliate her. She didn't expect it to escalate so quickly. But how could she tell Yu Songhuan that she was still a virgin and that she and her son were still innocent? Would Yu Songhuan be more determined to chase her away if he heard that? The key was, the next day Yu Songhuan really went out. Needless to say, he must have gone to the Buddhist temple. Tang Bao asked the servant, why didn't you bring me there? There's no need to. The abbot of the Buddhist temple is very accurate. Even if you don't go, he will know about your existence. So accurate? Are you kidding me? The servant ignored her and turned to leave. With Tang Bao here, even a servant dared to give her a hard time. This was the consequence of not being recognized. When Tang Bao was preparing lunch, Yu Songhuan came back. During the meal, Yu Songhuan's expression was very ugly. He even slapped his chopsticks and couldn't eat anymore. Old madam, do you have no appetite? Do you want to make something else? Aunt Wang asked. No need. I can't eat anything else. Yu Songhuan looked sharply at Tang Bao. Tang Bao, who was eating, almost choked on her food. What's wrong? It seems that it's right for you to divorce Haotian. It's not, right? Tang Bao asked uncertainly. I was thinking that although you ruined Haotian's marriage, it's not like you're not worth it. He protected you, so I turned a blind eye to it. I didn't expect that you would be destined to have no children. Ah! Tang Bao asked, was it foretold today? What do you think? How can a woman who can't have children want him? If you know that you can't have children, you shouldn't wait for others to tell you. You should have done it yourself, right? Yu Songhuan asked with an ashen face. Tang Bao thought to herself, was her fate really foretold? And she was destined to have no children? It wasn't believable, was it? Tang Bao had never believed in such things. Mom, you can't believe this thing. It's a lie. Are you saying that I'm easy to lie to? Yu Songhuan asked sternly. I'm not saying that you're easy to lie to. Then what do you mean? Or are you blaspheming the gods? Of course not. In that case, when Haotian comes back, you can tell him. Tell him what? Tang Bao didn't understand. Tell him what? If you can't have children, do you still want to stay in the D family? If you can't have children, do you still have the face to stay? Maybe. I can have children? Why don't you give me some time? Tang Bao thought that she was only 19 years old. How could she have children? Chapter 203. Tang Bao looked at the food on the table, thought about it, and decided to eat it. Otherwise, she would be hungry in the afternoon. She was most afraid of being hungry. You can still eat? Mrs. Wang walked over and said. Tang Bao hadn't swallowed a mouthful of rice in her mouth. Go and wash the dishes. If you want to make the old madam happy, don't do anything that she can't stand. Tang Bao spat out the rice in her mouth. She stood up and went to wash the dishes. Yu Songhuan went into the room and didn't come out. Tang Bao started to clean up after eating. She thought about how Wan Malay always talked about her being a slave to him and being a slave to him. She should let Wan Malay see what it meant to be a slave to him. Why are you still here? Tang Bao, who was cleaning, looked up and saw Yu Songhuan, who had just finished his afternoon nap, looking down at her with a cold face. What? Tang Bao didn't understand. I want you to leave here. I can leave? Tang Bao was happy. Was the hard days of being a slave to an end? When you go back, don't forget to tell Haotian about the divorce. Even if you don't say it, I will. If he knows that you can't have children in this lifetime, let's see if he still wants you. So, leaving on your own will be the least harmful to you. Tang Bao thought that this was for her own good. Tang Bao wanted to eat something first, because she felt that she couldn't wait to go back to the castle. She had to find a good place to eat and fill herself up. Then, she would go back. But the more Tang Bao thought about it in the taxi, the more she felt that something was wrong. How did she become a legend who was destined to be childless? This made people feel a little panicky when they heard it. Tang Bao was not an atheist. She always felt that she would rather believe in God. So, Yu Songhuan was telling the truth? Tang Bao was quite annoyed. She turned around and went to the company. Wan Malay was surprised to see her. Why are you here? Can't I come? Tang Bao asked angrily. I mean, aren't you being enslaved by the young master's mother? Why did he come to the company? I know. You must have run away because you couldn't stand it. No. She was the one who chased me away. Why? Is the young master back? No. Then what are you doing? Wan Malay couldn't figure out what was going on. Accompany me to a place. Where? Buddhist temple. Buddhist temple? Why? Wan Malay suddenly understood. You're going to cater to him, aren't you? Wan Malay knew that Yu Songhuan was a Buddhist, so he guessed that this was the case. Yeah. Why didn't I think of playing along? Seriously? Tang Bao regretted. No? Then why did you come back? Wan Malay asked. Do you know? Tang Bao asked. Di Haotian's mother went to the Buddhist temple to find the abbot to read my fortune. She said that I was destined to be childless. What? Wan Malay scanned Tang Bao's body up and down and asked, Really? You believe in this? Tang Bao frowned and asked. No, why would she help you calculate this out of the blue? You've only been married to the young master for 3 months, right? Some people get pregnant slowly, but there's no need to be in such a hurry, right? Wan Malay said. It's all because of that Lan Wanru. She and her aunt went to see Di Haotian's mother and tried to sow discord, saying why I haven't given Di Haotian's mother a grandchild in 3 months. If Di Haotian's mother wasn't there, I would have thrown a brick at each of them. What the hell? Tang Bao got angry just thinking about it. I've suffered for nothing these past few days. Wan Malay's gaze fell on Tang Bao again. You haven't been eaten by the young master yet, right? Tang Bao was a little embarrassed and said, Not yet. If the young master's mother knows that you haven't let her son touch you, she will definitely be even more prejudiced against you. I think so too. Tang Bao asked uncertainly, is this thing effective? It makes me panic. That's hard to say. Some people think it's effective, while others think it's not. You'd better accompany me to the Buddhist temple. I want to know how he knew that I was destined to be childless. Tang Bao's face was fierce. Then, the two of them went around and found the Buddhist temple that Yu Songhuan had been visiting. They found the abbot. He was wearing a kasaya, had a bald head and a long beard. His temperament really looked like it. Tang Bao's little eyes looked from top to bottom, then from bottom to top. Are you done reading? If you're done, then let's start. Wan Malay whispered in his ear. Tang Bao cleared his throat and said, Master, I've recently fallen out of love. My boyfriend doesn't want me anymore. The reason for the breakup is that our personalities don't match. Tell me, what do you mean by our personalities don't match? He was clearly the one with another woman. Master, tell me what's wrong with me? Wan Malay didn't understand what Tang Bao was up to. Didn't he say that he wanted to see if she was destined to be childless? What was there to see? She didn't fall out of love either. The abbot pointed at the scripture beside him. Tang Bao was confused. What do you mean? Then, he was displeased. Are you saying that I'm like a book that's not attractive at all when it's flipped to the end? The master shook his head. Tang Bao asked, do you think I'm uncultured? Should I use my talent to impress him? The master sighed deeply and said, I'm asking you to pick up the scripture. Don't you need to pick it up if it falls on the ground? Tang Bao. She seemed to have rubbed it off when she sat down. After Tang Bao picked up the scripture, he continued to ask, Master, tell me, will I only end up being broken up? I'm so good-looking, I'm good at making money, and I can do laundry and cook. Tell me why. Wan Malay, who was next to him, indicated that he didn't hear anything. Because from your appearance, you're destined to be childless. Tang Bao and Wan Malay looked at each other and saw the surprise in each other's eyes. Tang Bao asked, Can you be clearer? I don't quite understand. That's right. Your marriage line is too shallow. Even if you two get together, you won't bear any fruit. Tang Bao's heart pounded when he heard this, but he still thought that he might have misunderstood. Master, can you be more specific? It means that you won't have any children in your life. Tang Bao's face froze. This was exactly what Yu Songhuan had said. However, Tang Bao didn't want to accept such nonsense. He slammed the table and stood up. I think you're just sitting here and trying to swindle people. Almsgiver, please calm down. Your beard is fake. Tang Bao directly pulled it out. Ah. It hurts, let go. The abbot was shocked. His beard was being pulled hard. Not only was it painful, but his image was also ruined. I can't pull it out. So it's real? Tang Bao let go and asked curiously. It's real. The abbot was so angry that he was fuming. Chapter 204. Then what do you think we should do? Didn't you say that there's a solution to this? Since you can see it, you must be able to solve it. Tell me, how do you want to solve it? Tang Bao tried to calm himself down. She felt that no matter what, she had to think of a way to solve the problem first, and not just throw a tantrum. This is fate. It can't be solved. Are you sure? Tang Bao asked. Yes. After the abbot shouted, he was knocked unconscious. Tang Bao threw the brick in his hand and turned to leave the Buddhist temple. Wan Malay followed. When she went outside, she saw Tang Bao squatting beside a stone block outside the Buddhist temple. He rested his chin on his hands and was thinking. Wan Malay walked over and squatted down as well. Let me tell you, this kind of thing is not 100%. You can't believe it completely, Wan Malay comforted. I know I can't believe it completely, but what right does he have to say that? He said it so methodically as if it's true. The more Tang Bao thought about it, the angrier he got. He felt that giving him a brick was letting him off too easily. Anyway, you haven't done that kind of thing with the young master yet. Why don't you give it a try? Maybe you'll be pregnant next month. Tang Bao looked at Wan Malay in disbelief and asked, "What kind of rotten idea is this? How is it a rotten idea? Do you have any other way besides this? What if after trying, I really can't get pregnant?" Tang Bao asked. Wan Malay was also stumped by the question. Tang Bao sighed a little irritably and said, "I've thought of this method before. Now I still have an excuse to comfort myself that this abbot is talking nonsense. But if I really go to verify it and find out that I'm not pregnant, what excuse can I use to convince myself?" She couldn't help but feel nervous. This is indeed difficult. If there's a problem with your body, you can go to the hospital for a checkup. But he said that this is fate, which means that it has nothing to do with your body. What kind of fate do you have? Wan Malay said in annoyance. When Tang Bao turned to look at her, she immediately shut her mouth. She didn't want to end up like the abbot inside. Let's take it one step at a time. Let's go home. Tang Bao stood up and said. Actually, it was still too early to talk about having children. She did not know what would become of her and Di Haotian in the end. If she really could not have children, she definitely could not be with Di Haotian. Her thoughts were also a little negative. But if he didn't think this way, what else could he think? Tang Bao sighed deeply in his heart. What kind of messy things could happen? Just as the two of them were about to walk back, a hungry growl came from the Tang Bao's stomach. Is she saying that she wants to eat meat? Wan Malay was stunned by the hungry voice. She said that she didn't eat lunch, Tang Bao said. Why didn't young master's mother even let you eat? Wan Malay was surprised. Did the abuse escalate? Isn't it because after Di Haotian's mother came back from the temple and found out that I can't have children, she was in a bad mood, so she didn't eat? In the end, I didn't eat either, Tang Bao said helplessly. It seems that it's not easy to be the daughter-in-law of a rich family, Wan Malay sighed. Then you still dare to like Gu Linshan? I heard that his family is also from a rich family, not worse than Di Haotian's family. For him, I will overcome all difficulties. Wan Malay's eyes shone with determination. Tang Bao shook his head and did not say anything. Other people were fighting for their feelings. What was she fighting for? In the beginning, she was fighting for Di Junbai. If she had him in her heart, no matter how big the difficulties were, it would not be a problem. Li Yuhuai walked into Lan Wanru's room happily. Lan Wanru was trimming the flowers and plants on the balcony. When he saw Li Yuhuai coming in with a smile, he put down the scissors and asked, Auntie, why are you so happy? You know that Di Haotian's mother went to the temple to ask Tang Bao if she could have children, right? What did she say? I specially went to see her today. She didn't look good and Tang Bao wasn't there. I asked around in private and found out that he was chased away. Li Yuhuai looked relaxed. That's right. A woman who can't have children. Not to mention a family like ours, even an ordinary family can't tolerate it. Lan Wanru smiled sarcastically. I didn't expect Tang Bao to believe in this kind of superstition. Who can be sure about this kind of thing? It's better to believe it. Moreover, she's so young now and hasn't had children before. She definitely doesn't have confidence in her heart. Lan Wanru smiled and said, Auntie's plan is still good. Isn't Auntie doing that because she loves you? You liked Di Haotian for so many years, but he married another woman. You shouldn't have taken it lying down. Li Yuhuai said angrily. Yes, I didn't expect him to marry another woman all of a sudden. Lan Wanru's face had a touch of sadness. Now it's good. As long as your aunt doesn't like her, one day they will be separated. When that time comes, won't the position of young emperor's wife be yours? Li Yuhuai was overjoyed by her good plan. If it wasn't for this plan, it wouldn't take long for Tang Bao to be recognized. I'm just more surprised that she was willing to swallow her anger and be ordered around like a servant. Don't you know enough? It's worth making some sacrifices to consolidate your position in a rich family. I'll listen to Auntie's arrangements. I won't have any opinions. If Auntie doesn't help you arrange it, who else will? Li Yuhuai said lovingly. Tang Bao and Wan Malay were eating when their cell phone rang. They picked it up and looked at it. Tang Bao was stunned and almost choked on the food in his mouth. It was actually Di Haotian calling. Tang Bao answered, "Hello? Where are you? I'll pick you up." Tang Bao was surprised. "You're back? I'll be there in half an hour. I'm on the plane now." Tang Bao was puzzled. "You're calling me on the plane? Can you call me on the plane? Aren't you going to turn off your cell phone?" "Private plane. I'm eating outside with Juan Malay now. I'll go to the company later." "You don't have to go to the company. Wait there. I'll pick you up directly to the castle." After Tang Bao hung up the phone, his beautiful brows furrowed. "What's wrong?" Juan Malay asked. "Young Emperor is back? He really came back at the right time?" Tang Bao curled his lips. "What do you mean?" Chapter 205. She had to perk up her ears to hear some sounds. This was the disadvantage of having a house that was too big. It was so difficult to eavesdrop. Tang Bao, who was hiding behind the guardrail, thought to herself, should she go out? She had to take responsibility for her own actions. It wouldn't be good to push the responsibility to Di Haotian, right? Just as she was thinking, she heard Di Haotian's low and hoarse voice. "She looked very tired, so I didn't have the heart to wake her up." Yu Sang Huan's expression changed. It was a little unnatural. However, she didn't hide it because she was a lady from a noble family. She said, "She was at my place when you were away." "What did she do?" Di Haotian was expressionless, as if he didn't know. "Is it so easy to be the daughter-in-law of the Di family? You have to learn to do something. When you first entered the Di family, did you work from morning to night like she did? Did you make her do all the rough work?" Di Haotian asked. "Do you think I did something wrong? You did the right thing." Tang Bao, who was listening in the dark, almost grinded her white teeth. Di Haotian, this cruel man. At that time, she was still thinking of asking him for help. Wasn't it fortunate that she didn't? If he didn't take her begging seriously, wouldn't she be sick to death? "You can teach her, but don't use this method. In the Di family, she's not here to do rough work. She's only 19 years old. She has a childish temper. Mother, you should be tolerant of her, just like your own child," Di Haotian said emotionlessly. He didn't pursue the matter too much with Yu Sang Huan because he took Tang Bao's feelings into consideration. With Tang Bao's temper in the past, she would never have swallowed such humiliation. She chose to do so because she wanted his mother's approval. Thinking of this, Di Haotian's eyes flashed with a deep and gentle luster. "Tolerant? Do you think I don't want to be tolerant?" Yu Sang Huan was angry at the mention of this. "It's fine if you messed up the housework. I didn't say anything when you broke the bodhisattva. But do you know that she can't have children in this life? Do you want to have no children in the future?" Thinking of this, Yu Sang Huan couldn't sleep at night. As long as Tang Bao and Di Haotian didn't divorce, she wouldn't be able to rest easy. Tang Bao's fingers tightened on the guardrail, turning white. Di Haotian knew. What would he think? What would he say? What would he do? Would he act the same as when he faced her? She was very nervous. But Di Haotian didn't answer Yu Sang Huan's question. He only asked, "Who said that?" "The abbot of the temple saw it," Yu Sang Huan said. She really believed in these things. The gods are watching. You can't not believe in these things. You were forced into this marriage. Do you still want to gamble on the fact that you don't have children? If you are willing, I won't agree even if I die. What can a woman who can't have children do? You're too serious. You think this is serious? I think you're threatening me with death. How about this, you stay here tonight? Di Haotian said. Yu Sang Huan was startled. I don't need to stay. I came here to solve this problem. I'll leave after I'm done. You haven't solved it yet, right? Di Haotian asked. Yu Sang Huan didn't understand what Di Haotian meant. Di Haotian ordered Zhongli, "Take the old madam to rest." Then he stood up and left. Yu Sang Huan didn't understand what he meant at all. Tang Bao saw Di Haotian leave the hall, and quickly ran to his room. He tiptoed. He was quite fast. After a while, he flashed into his room. The servants were speechless. When Di Haotian went upstairs, he coldly ordered He Ju, "Tomorrow morning, I want to see that abbot." Yes. Tang Bao was in his room, watching Di Haotian walk in with a normal expression. She wanted to see something from his tough and domineering face, but she couldn't see anything. Tang Bao deliberately asked, "What did mother say? Was she angry? I should have gone with you to see her." "It's the same as seeing you tomorrow," Di Haotian said. "That's all? What else? What else did mother say? You haven't told me." Di Haotian's deep black eyes looked at her. "Nothing?" Tang Bao pouted. Why didn't he just bring up the issue of her not being able to have children? Why didn't he? Also, did Di Haotian let you Sang Huan stay here to solve the problem? How could it be that he left the issue of her not being able to have children until tomorrow? How would he solve it? Tang Bao felt a little uneasy. Baby? Tang Bao was stunned. She didn't know when Di Haotian was standing in front of her. Deep shadows shrouded her slender figure. The pressure of his tall figure was obvious. "Why did you call me?" "Sleep." Tang Bao turned and lay down on the bed. She covered herself with the blanket and slept on her side. The bed behind her sank. Di Haotian was on the bed. He hugged her from behind. "Are you angry?" As he said, he naturally covered her chest. Tang Bao couldn't help but moan sensitively. Don't touch me. I'm not in the mood." "Even if you're in the mood, you can't do it." "Why?" Tang Bao was stunned. "Baby, you seem to be very disappointed that you can't do it?" Di Haotian's hot breath blew on Tang Bao's delicate white neck. That area was instantly dyed crimson. It was extremely seductive. It was as if it was waiting to be plucked and destroyed. Tang Bao's neck was numb. "I'm just asking a question. There's nothing to be disappointed about." Di Haotian smelled the sweet virgin scent on Tang Bao's body. His voice was low and hoarse. "If I really carry out the operation, you won't be able to get out of bed for a week." And there was still something to deal with tomorrow morning. He didn't want the little thing to keep the fact that she couldn't have children in her heart. Tang Bao was so frightened by Di Haotian's words that she couldn't move. She couldn't get out of bed for a week? This was too scary, wasn't it? Just when Tang Bao was unable to extricate herself from the shock, she heard Di Haotian's voice become a little hoarse. "So, I need your full cooperation tonight." "What do you mean?" Before Tang Bao understood what it meant, Di Haotian didn't answer her. Then, he flipped Tang Bao over and laid him flat on his back. The evil and wanton flavor in Di Haotian's eyes was so strong. In the morning, when Tang Bao opened her eyes, she saw that he was standing by the bed and staring at her while putting on his clothes. Tang Bao was shocked. "You? Why are you looking at me putting on my clothes? Otherwise, you'll take off your clothes?" Tang Bao's face turned hot and she didn't say anything. She felt that she would never be able to win against Di Haotian in this aspect. After all, she was 19 years old and had no experience. Unlike Di Haotian, perhaps that experience could simply fly. Otherwise, how could he know so much? Hands, feet, and so on. Tang Bao, who had little experience, was stunned and dumbfounded. It could be done like this. Chapter 206. What have you fed her these past few days? Di Haotian's expressionless face was so powerful that people a few miles away didn't even dare to breathe. Li En and Zhang Li were stunned by the question. They thought about what they had fed Tang Bao these past few days, but they didn't give her anything. Could it be that she had eaten something bad? Zhang Li couldn't resist the pressure and told the truth. "We didn't give young madam anything." Di Haotian's ink-black eyes suddenly sharpened. Li En hurriedly said, "Ever since young Master Di left, young madam hasn't been living in the castle. She was called away by old madam that day, and has been living in the bungalow. Old madam didn't allow us to visit her, so we only saw young madam today." Di Haotian's face was still angry. Why didn't you stop her? She actually lost so much weight when I wasn't around. What's the use of having you? Li En and Zhang Li now knew what the problem was. Why was Di Haotian so angry? They knew that they couldn't do anything about this kind of thing as servants. They couldn't go against old madam. But if something really went wrong, they couldn't say that they didn't have any responsibility at all. This was the burden that the servants had to bear. Zhang Li hadn't been in the castle as long as Lian. This was the first time she saw Di Haotian so angry. Di Haotian's aura was already strong, but now that he was bursting with anger, how many people could withstand it? He Ju. Di Haotian's voice was cold. He Ju walked in. Why didn't you tell me? Young Master Di, I couldn't contact you. Li En and Zhang Li weren't the only ones who were implicated. He Ju was also involved. Di Haotian couldn't speak, but his face was getting scarier. He really didn't expect this to happen. He had thought that He Ju would be safe by staying by Tang Bao's side, but he had not expected to be called to the bungalow. Di Haotian suppressed his anger and asked, "What did she do in the bungalow? Tell me, don't leave out a single word." After young madam was called over, she did the housework from morning till night. Every morning, she got up at 5 o'clock to make breakfast. After breakfast, she washed her clothes. When the laundry was almost done, it was time to prepare lunch. After lunch, she cleaned the entire bungalow and watered the flowers and plants outside. Before he was done, he had to start preparing dinner. All 3 meals a day were vegetarian. On the first day, the young lady had tried to get Wan Malay to secretly throw her food from outside the wall. I was found out and the food was taken away. After that, I ate vegetarian food every day and didn't ask Wan Malay to send me any more food. He Ju said without missing a single word. Zhang Li and Li En felt that it was very unbelievable, let alone Di Haotian. However, with each sentence, Di Haotian's face became colder and colder. The aura around him was particularly terrifying. So, she sneaked out to eat in the afternoon? Di Haotian asked. She was chased out by old madam. Di Haotian glanced at him sharply. During the cleaning period, young madam broke all kinds of bowls and plates when she was cleaning. These were nothing. The most important thing was that old madam went to read young madam's fortune. She said that young madam was destined to have no children in this life. Old madam asked young madam to come back and ask for a divorce. He Ju didn't appear in front of Tang Bao, but it didn't mean that he didn't know anything. Di Haotian's face was cold, and his eyes were extremely sharp. What kind of nonsense is this? So many things had happened to her during his absence. What made him even angrier was that she didn't say anything when he chatted with Tang Bao every night. She deserved to die. Tang Bao felt that he slept very well in the afternoon. It would be even better if no one disturbed him. He opened his eyes sleepily and saw Di Haotian's face. His face was chiseled and angular. In his sight, it was unrealistic to look like a god. Sleep after dinner? Can we have dinner now? Oh, then I'll get up now. Tang Bao rubbed his eyes. He sat up from the bed. He was yawning. Tang Bao sat down at the dining table. Seeing the table full of delicious food, she was about to drool. However, with Di Haotian around, she couldn't show it. Otherwise, Di Haotian would notice that she hadn't eaten for a few days. Di Haotian, did you suffer over there? Why did you make so much food? It's too wasteful. You don't like it? Who doesn't like delicious food? I like it the most, Tang Bao said with a smile. Eat more. Okay. Tang Bao started to eat. When he took the first bite, Tang Bao's face was full of satisfaction. Zhang Li looked at him with a heart full of bitterness. Why did he go to the bungalow to suffer? The old madam was a vegetarian and prayed to Buddha. If the young madam went there, she would definitely be a vegetarian too. After seeing her, he realized that she had really lost a lot of weight. How pitiful. Tang Bao didn't know Zhang Li's pity at all. He sighed in his heart that staying in the castle was still the best. There was all kinds of delicious food. After Di Haotian served her food, Tang Bao said emotionally, "This will make me picky. If I go somewhere else after I'm picky, I won't be used to eating anything." "You want to go somewhere else? You have to stay by my side for the rest of your life. Without my permission, you're not allowed to go anywhere." Tang Bao was unable to refute Di Haotian's domineering attitude. She listened to him with resignation. From the time Tang Bao got up to dinner, Di Haotian didn't ask anything. But it didn't mean that he wouldn't ask anything after dinner. After Di Haotian entered the room, he sat down on the sofa and his aura was imposing. He ordered Tang Bao, "Come here." Tang Bao, who was about to walk to the bedroom, was stunned. She walked over in confusion. She didn't think, "Did I do something wrong again?" No, why do I feel that I did something wrong when Di Haotian's expression changed? Is it because Di Haotian's personality is too bad? Tang Bao stood in front of Di Haotian and instinctively looked at Di Haotian nervously like a good student who was ready to be trained. "You don't have anything to say to me?" "Ah? What do you want to say?" Tang Bao was at a loss. "What did you do when I was away?" Tang Bao was a little embarrassed. Her two small hands were unconsciously twisted in front of her. "I didn't do anything. Didn't I tell you what I did when we chatted last night?" Tang Bao said innocently. "I forgot." Tang Bao thought, "It's your business that you forgot. Why should I say it again? It's not like I'm telling the truth." However, she didn't dare to say such thoughts out loud. Chapter 207. Tang Bao didn't know that when she said these words, she didn't sound as confident as when she was talking through the phone. She couldn't help but think about it. Did the people in the castle tell Di Haotian that she went to the bungalow? Who said that? Lian? Zhongli? He Ju? Logically speaking, they wouldn't say anything. Nothing happened. Why would they say anything? As long as they didn't say anything, Di Haotian definitely wouldn't know. "You didn't lie to me?" "Of course not. How could I lie to you? Besides, I'm lying too. You can definitely tell." Tang Bao immediately covered herself up and raised her voice a lot. "Indeed, as long as you lie, I can definitely tell." Tang Bao's mind was spinning. She was too sure of herself. She couldn't tell now, could she? Di Haotian didn't expose her. It didn't matter whether Tang Bao said it or not. He knew it in his heart. Just as Tang Bao was lost in her thoughts and feeling smug, she was suddenly pulled over. Ah! Tang Bao lost her balance and fell onto Di Haotian's strong chest. It made her heart beat faster. She blushed. "Why are you so rough?" Tang Bao said coquettishly. "You don't like it?" Di Haotian's deep voice was slightly hoarse. "Don't say such strange things. What do you mean by like or not like?" Tang Bao said shyly, and her tone changed. Di Haotian directly clasped her hands. Tang Bao's face suddenly turned red like the sunset. It was extremely seductive. "Do you like it?" No. Be gentle. Say it." Tang Bao's face was red as she bit her soft and pouty lips, unable to hold herself back. "You were quite good at seducing me in the video. It seems that you only know how to talk on paper?" The tip of Di Haotian's tongue touched Tang Bao's cheek. Her cheeks were really hot, which pleased Di Haotian. You're too cunning. That's why I did that." Tang Bao thought of her boldness that day and wanted to find a hole to hide in. "Then let's do it again." "No, don't." Di Haotian nibbled her face and said in a hoarse voice, "Then let me bathe you." Tang Bao's face and neck were almost melted by the scorching hot breath. She couldn't stand it and shrank her neck. Her small hands pushed Di Haotian's strong body. However, the heat and strength of that body made her tremble all over. "What? Are you unwilling? I'll eat you tonight." No. "Why not? Your hand hasn't fully recovered." Tang Bao began to find all sorts of excuses. But Di Haotian smelled the young girl's fragrance on Tang Bao's body. "If you can't have children in the future, what will you do?" Di Haotian paused and stared at Tang Bao's nervous expression with his dark eyes. "Why won't you have children?" For example, if there's nothing wrong with two people's bodies, but they're not destined to have children. Tang Bao looked at the sky and the ground, but she didn't look at Di Haotian. If we really can't have children, then it means that I'm not working hard enough. If you want to have children with me now, we can start trying. Di Haotian tempted Tang Bao. I'm a little nervous. Tang Bao sat on Di Haotian's lap and clamped her two slender legs together tightly. When Tang Bao said this, her jerky reaction made Di Haotian want to swallow her whole. He decided not to let her sleep for the whole night. He directly picked up Tang Bao. What are you doing? Taking a shower? Are we going to sleep after the shower? Tang Bao was still timid. You won't sleep for the whole night. Tang Bao's body trembled. She wouldn't be able to stand it. Tang Bao couldn't control herself and bit Di Haotian's shoulder. Di Haotian took a deep breath and said fiercely, "Bite me like this later?" Tang Bao didn't understand what Di Haotian meant. She didn't understand why she would bite him later. Di Haotian whispered into her ear with his thin lip. Tang Bao's face immediately turned red as he kicked his legs in the air. When the two of them were taking a shower, Tang Bao had already lost her mind because of Di Haotian's kisses. He didn't have time to dry himself. He directly wrapped a bath towel around Tang Bao's body and threw her on the bed. Tang Bao's face was red and her breathing was rapid. When Di Haotian's shadow pressed over her, she almost stopped breathing. "Are you still nervous now?" Di Haotian's voice seemed to be eroded and hoarse. "Yes," Tang Bao whimpered. "I'll make you not feel nervous right away." Di Haotian's thin lips pressed against Tang Bao's pitiful little mouth. However, there was a knock on the door. Di Haotian's movements paused. His black eyes immediately showed the coldness of being interrupted. He roared, "Do you want to die?" Lien, who was outside, tensed up. He felt that he came at the wrong time. No, it was the person downstairs who came at the wrong time. "Young master, old madam is here." Lien braced himself and said, "She wants to see you and young madam." Di Haotian's face was cold and stiff. Why did she come at this time? He had waited so long for this moment to eat this little thing. Di Haotian had to use extraordinary restraint to suppress the evil in his body. Tang Bao, who was pressed under his body, was also stunned. She was so scared that she crawled out from under Di Haotian. She looked nervous. She was nervous when she heard that Yu Songhuan was here. Now, whenever she heard Yu Songhuan's name, she would be traumatized. What should I do? What did Mommy come here for? Tang Bao asked fearfully. Was she going to tell Di Haotian that the abbot had predicted that she would not have a child in her life? Even if she was going to tell him, it should be her. Why did Yu Songhuan come? Besides, shouldn't he give her some time? Why was he in such a hurry? You're here. But Lien said that she wants to see the two of us. Tang Bao heard Lien's words outside the door. Forget it, I'll go too. Otherwise, she'll be angry. No need. Di Haotian turned and went to the cloakroom to put on his clothes. When the heat in his body dissipated, he walked out of the room expressionlessly. Lien, who was outside the room, lowered her gaze and felt a gust of cold wind blow past her face. Her whole body was cold. She composed herself and followed him. As soon as Di Haotian went downstairs, Tang Bao, who had put on her pajamas, ran out. She did not go downstairs either. She hid behind the guardrail closest to the hall. Then, she saw Yu Songhuan sitting on the sofa in the hall. From the expression on his face, she could tell that he did not come with good intentions. Why are you here at this time? Di Haotian sat down on the sofa. Yu Songhuan looked at the stairs and asked, Where is she? Asleep. Chapter 208. She had to prick up her ears to hear some sounds. This was the downside of having a big house. It was so difficult to eavesdrop. Tang Bao, who was hiding behind the railing, wondered if she should go out. She should take responsibility for her own actions. It wouldn't be good to push the responsibility to Di Haotian, right? Just as she was thinking, she heard Di Haotian's low and hoarse voice. She looked very tired, so I didn't have the heart to wake her up. Yu Songhuan's expression changed, and he looked a little unnatural. However, she didn't hide it from him. She said, "She has been at my place for the past few days when you weren't around." "What did she do?" Di Haotian was expressionless, as if he didn't know. "Is it so easy to be the daughter-in-law of the Di family? You have to learn how to do some things. When you first entered the Di family, did you work from morning to night like her and let her do those manual chores?" Di Haotian asked. "Do you think I did something wrong?" "You did the right thing." Tang Bao, who was listening in the dark, almost gritted her teeth. Di Haotian, this ruthless man. At that time, she still wanted to ask him for help. Wasn't it fortunate that she didn't? If he didn't take her seriously after she begged, wouldn't she vomit to death? You can teach her, but don't use this method. In the Di family, she's not here to do manual chores. She's only 19 years old. She has a childish temper. Mother, you should be tolerant just like how you treat your own child, Di Haotian said without any fluctuation in his emotions. She didn't pursue the matter with Yu Songhuan because she was considering Tang Bao's feelings. With Tang Bao's temper in the past, she would never have swallowed her anger. She chose to do that because she wanted his mother's approval. Thinking of this, Di Haotian's eyes flashed with a deep and gentle luster. Tolerant? Do you think I don't want to be tolerant? Yu Songhuan was angry at the mention of this. It's fine if she does those messy chores. I didn't say anything when she broke the bodhisattva. But do you know that she can't have children in this lifetime? Do you want to have no children in the future? When Yu Songhuan thought of this, she couldn't sleep at night. As long as Tang Bao and Di Haotian were not divorced, she would not feel at ease. Tang Bao gripped the guardrail so tightly that his knuckles turned white. Di Haotian still found out. What would he think? What would he say? What should he do? Would he be the same as when he faced her? She was very nervous. However, Di Haotian did not answer Yu Songhuan's question. Instead, he asked, "Who said that?" "It was the abbot of the temple who saw it," Yu Songhuan said. She believed these things very much. God is watching from above. You can't not believe this. You're already forced into this marriage. Do you still want to gamble that you won't have any children? Even if you're willing, I won't agree even if I die. What's the use of a woman who can't give birth? You're being too serious. You think this is serious? I said that your threat of death is too serious. How about this? You can stay here tonight, Di Haotian said. Yu Songhuan was stunned and said, "There's no need to stay here. I'm here to talk about this matter. I'll leave once I'm done." "You haven't solved it yet, have you?" Di Haotian asked. Yu Songhuan did not understand Di Haotian's meaning. Di Haotian instructed Zhongli, "Take the old madam to rest." After that, he stood up and left. Yu Songhuan did not know what he meant at all. Tang Bao saw Di Haotian leave the hall and quickly ran to his room. He was quite fast with his toes on the floor. In a short while, he entered the room. The servants were speechless. When Di Haotian went upstairs, he ordered He Ju with a cold expression, "I want to see that abbot tomorrow morning." Yes. Tang Bao was in the room and watched Di Haotian walk in with a calm expression. She wanted to see something from his hard and domineering face, but she could not see anything. Tang Bao deliberately asked, "What did Mom say? Is she very angry? I should have gone with you to see her." "It's the same if you see her tomorrow," Di Haotian said. "That's all? What else? What did Mom say? You haven't told me yet." Di Haotian stared at her with his deep black eyes. She didn't say anything. Tang Bao pouted. She cursed silently. Why didn't he just tell her that she couldn't have children? Why didn't he say it? Also, why did Di Haotian let Yu Songhuan stay here to solve the problem? How would he solve it? Could it be that the problem of not being able to have children would be solved tomorrow? How would he solve it? Tang Bao felt a little uneasy. Baby? Tang Bao was stunned. She didn't know when Di Haotian was already standing in front of her. His deep shadow shrouded her slender figure. The oppressive force of his tall figure was obvious. "Why did you call me?" "Sleep." Tang Bao turned around and lay down on the bed. She covered herself with the quilt and slept on her side. The bed behind her sank. Di Haotian got on the bed. He hugged her from behind. "Are you angry?" As he spoke, he naturally covered her chest. Tang Bao could not help but hum sensitively. Don't touch me. I'm not in the mood." "You can't do it even if you are in the mood." "Why?" Tang Bao was stunned. "Baby, you seem to be very disappointed that you can't do it?" Di Haotian's hot breath blew on Tang Bao's delicate white neck. That place was instantly dyed crimson. It was seductive and beautiful, as if it was waiting to be picked and destroyed. Tang Bao shrunk her neck numbly. "I'm just asking a question. There's nothing to be disappointed about." Di Haotian smelled the sweet virgin scent on Tang Bao's body and said in a low and hoarse voice, "If I really carry out the operation, you won't be able to get out of bed for a week." And he still had something to deal with tomorrow morning. He did not want to keep the fact that she could not have children in her heart. Tang Bao was so frightened by Di Haotian's words that she could not move an inch. Could not get out of bed for a week? This was too scary, wasn't it? Just when Tang Bao was unable to extricate herself from the shock, she heard Di Haotian's voice become a little hoarse. "So, I need my baby's full cooperation tonight." "Huh? What do you mean?" Before Tang Bao understood what he meant, Di Haotian did not answer her. Instead, he turned Tang Bao over so that she was lying flat. The evil and wanton look in Di Haotian's eyes was so strong. In the morning, as soon as Tang Bao opened her eyes, she saw him standing by the bed and staring at her as he put on his clothes. Tang Bao was shocked. "You? Why are you watching me put on my clothes? Or else I'll take off my clothes." Tang Bao's face turned hot and she did not speak. She felt that she would never be able to win against Di Haotian in this aspect. After all, she was only 19 years old and had no experience at all. Unlike Di Haotian, perhaps his experience could fly. Otherwise, how could he know so much? One moment, his hands, and the next moment, his feet. Tang Bao, who was lacking in experience, was stunned and dumbfounded. Could it be done like this? Chapter 209. Tang Bao blushed at the thought of what happened last night. "Why are you blushing? What are you thinking about?" "No. Tang Bao got out of bed and rubbed her hands against the blanket. She immediately felt a sharp pain. "Ouch! It hurts." Tang Bao could not ignore the pain, but she could not suppress her shyness either. "Let me see." Di Haotian was about to pull her pajama's collar. "No, don't move." Di Haotian's voice deepened. Her collar was easily pulled open by his big hand that could not be disobeyed. Tang Bao's face was so red that she wanted to find a hole to crawl into. She turned her face away resolutely. Di Haotian began to examine her with his big, rough hand. "Ouch!" Tang Bao's body trembled. She was really scared. Why did it take so long to look? She wondered if Di Haotian did it on purpose. Was it not enough last night? "You closed your eyes last night and did not open them. Are you still shy?" Di Haotian asked wickedly. Are you done? Is it broken? I applied medicine yesterday. It's not broken, but it's a little red." "You still have the nerve to say that? It's all your fault." Tang Bao angrily slapped Di Haotian's hand away. She angrily stomped her feet and jumped off the bed. Di Haotian stretched out his long arm to block the impact for her. Fortunately, Tang Bao landed steadily and ran barefoot into the bathroom. Di Haotian's face was dark. Let's see how he will deal with her. After Tang Bao ran into the bathroom and made sure that Di Haotian did not have any intention of coming in, she pulled open the collar of her pajamas. There were some marks from last night on her skin. It was really scary. It was all caused by friction. Tang Bao blushed just thinking about the heat and hardness. Even now, He could still remember the scalding sensation clearly. Next time, she would definitely not let Di Haotian do anything. She didn't understand what he meant last night, so she couldn't stop him in time. Tang Bao followed Di Haotian out of the room. When he entered the living room, he saw Yu Songhuan sitting on the sofa. After staying in the bungalow for so long, she naturally knew that Yu Songhuan had a habit of waking up early. When Yu Songhuan saw Tang Bao, his face immediately turned ugly. "What time is it? Why are you only up now?" "Mom." Yu Songhuan didn't like her, but the Tang Bao couldn't be bothered. He still had to call her mom when he should. She already had enough mistakes, so it was better to reduce them as much as possible. Yu Songhuan did not react to Tang Bao calling him mom. To be honest, his reaction was an expression of complete disregard. Di Haotian narrowed his eyes and asked Yu Songhuan, "Have you eaten?" "No. I'm waiting to use it with you." Then, the three of them went to eat. There was no need to talk about the atmosphere. It wouldn't be good. Under the suppression of the dining table, there was only a slight sound of chewing and the crisp sound of clashing cutlery. After eating, Di Haotian ordered He Ju, "Bring him in." Yu Songhuan was stunned and asked, "Who is it?" "You'll know when he comes." Di Haotian got up and walked out of the dining room. Tang Bao was also dumbfounded. What was going on? Who was he going to bring? After walking into the living room, Tang Bao was dumbfounded. The abbot? What was going on? Why was the abbot here? He was still wearing the kasaya he was wearing when he first met the abbot, but he was sitting on a soft stool before. Now, he was kneeling on the ground. There was fear on his face, and he didn't look like an old monk meditating in the Buddhist temple. He Ju was standing straight next to him. Yu Songhuan was shocked to see the abbot and immediately asked, "Why are you here?" "Haotian, why did you bring the master here?" "I want him to help me calculate what my fate is." Di Haotian sat down on the sofa and crossed his long leg. He was really ready to listen to him coldly. Tang Bao secretly glanced at Di Haotian and thought, "What kind of fate is this? Do you still need to calculate?" "I can calculate everything. The fate of great wealth, the fate of a king. Just calculate. Why do you let the master kneel on the ground? Let the master get up." Yu Songhuan, who had always respected the abbot, was kneeling at this moment. She was a little scared. It was as if the gods were kneeling to her. "There's no need to get up. Kneeling will make your thoughts clearer." Di Haotian was expressionless. Without Di Haotian's order, the abbot didn't dare to get up. He had never seen someone with such a terrifying aura. He didn't even dare to look into his eyes, which were as sharp as a knife cutting into his flesh. It made him tremble all over. "You can begin." Di Haotian's voice was cold. "If you can't explain, I'll chop off your hand." A sharp blade immediately appeared in He Ju's hand. The blade emitted a cold light, which was especially terrifying. The abbot's body trembled even more. I'll talk." The abbot quickly nodded. "You were born with a golden spoon in your mouth. You have the fate of great wealth and power. You will stand at the top of power and no one will dare to surpass you. That's all? For example, will I have children in this life?" Di Haotian reminded him. The abbot looked in Tang Bao's direction and stammered. After hearing Di Haotian's words, Tang Bao finally understood why Di Haotian called the abbot over. He didn't ask her last night because he wanted to interrogate the abbot personally today. She thought that Di Haotian didn't want to accept such a topic, so he didn't say a word. Tang Bao's heart throbbed a little. But he was also nervous about the abbot's answer. "Speak." Di Haotian's voice was stern. The abbot's face turned pale, and he immediately said, "You will have a lot of children in this life, and all of them will become dragons and phoenixes. Then how many wives do you think I will have? How many marriages will I have?" Di Haotian asked again. Tang Bao thought to himself, "Are you treating him like a god? Asking so carefully?" "Marry one, marry once," the abbot said under great pressure. In other words, my children will be with a woman other than my wife? No, no. Yu Songhuan frowned when he heard this. Obviously, she understood this answer. Then explain the reason why my wife is childless, Di Haotian asked lazily. Since you're so good at divination, you don't need me to tell you who my wife is, right? The abbot glanced at Tang Bao and said tremblingly, I know. Tell me. The abbot looked at Tang Bao's face. Tang Bao was also waiting for him to help him do the divination again. The abbot said that she was childless, and Di Haotian had a lot of children. He didn't have children with a woman other than his wife, and he only married once. These words were contradictory. I was wrong at the beginning. Young madam has a good life. She doesn't have to worry about food and clothing, and she has no worries. Naturally, she has a lot of children, the abbot said. Chapter 210. I might have made a mistake in the beginning, the abbot said fearfully. You can make a mistake in this kind of thing? Yu Songhuan could not remain calm. She had always been worshipping this Buddhist temple. She had always believed in it. It should be the birth characters from before. I made a mistake. Yu Songhuan was so angry that his face turned green. But did he think that this was the end? It was not. If it was just to ask him these questions, why did he bring him to the castle? If he wanted to bluff his way out of Di Haotian, it would depend on whether he had the ability to do so. Was it really just a mistake in reading the birth characters? Di Haotian seemed to be asking lightly, but people could hear a different mystery in his words. It made the people listening to him very confused. I really just read the birth characters wrongly. It was my mistake, the first mistake in history. Please forgive me, this is my fault. The abbot almost kowtowed to Di Haotian. However, this humble gesture not only made people feel disdain. It made them even more afraid of Di Haotian's unshakable high position. Di Haotian did not harshly respond to the abbot's denial. Instead, he said calmly as if he was narrating, You should be married, right? Are your wife and son in the countryside? The abbot immediately became nervous and said, There is no rule in our Buddhist temple that says we can't get married. Of course you can get married, but I don't know if your son will live to send you off, Di Haotian said lightly. However, his eyes were extremely sharp and cruel. What do you want to do? The abbot was so scared that his face changed drastically. He looked at Yu Songhuan and Tang Bao with pleading eyes. He hoped that they would speak up for him and spare him this time. How could Tang Bao speak up for the abbot? She also wanted to know why the abbot was able to read her fate. From Di Haotian's words, it seemed that there was something hidden in it. Yu Songhuan also wanted to know. Moreover, she didn't believe that her son could control the Di clan out of benevolence. From the first day she entered the Di clan, she knew that everyone was selfish. Everyone lived for themselves by hook or by crook. Therefore, it was even more impossible for her to speak up for the abbot. She had always hated being lied to, especially when this matter was related to her son. Do I have to repeat myself? Di Haotian asked. I'm telling the truth. It's all true. I made a mistake in my calculations. Can you spare me? I'll do anything, just don't hurt my son. Once a person's weakness was exposed, it was easier to be controlled. This meant that the abbot was very afraid of others hurting his family. Monks were also human and had emotions and desires. Otherwise, how could they get married and have children? Looks like you won't give up until you see the coffin. Bring him in. Di Haotian's face was cruel. He immediately walked out. The abbot was terrified. He didn't dare to think about who he would bring in. However, when he saw that the person who was brought in was his son, the abbot broke down. Dad, this call immediately made the abbot surrender. I'll talk. I'll tell you everything. He then brought the 7 or 8-year-old child out. The abbot said, Someone asked me to do this. She said that as long as I did what she said and told the old madam, I would be rewarded handsomely. Tang Bao was surprised. There really was a shady inside story. Who was it? It was a woman, but I don't know her. I just did what she said. Di Haotian's voice was cold. Bring him out. He Ju brought the child out. Di Haotian said to Tang Bao, go back to your room. Tang Bao glanced at Yu Songhuan, then stood up and left. Don't eavesdrop. Tang Bao, who was about to climb up the stairs, staggered. He steadied himself and retorted with a red face, I won't eavesdrop. After saying that, he turned and went upstairs. Seriously, her back was still facing him. How did Di Haotian know that she wanted to eavesdrop? After returning to the room, Tang Bao lay on the bed and breathed a sigh of relief. Now the truth was out. She would never be childless in this life. Everything was because of that master. Who would want to be childless for the rest of their life? Even if they didn't get married, they wouldn't think so. However, Di Haotian's actions really warmed her heart. He didn't make her feel inferior and made her understand the matter clearly. She just didn't know who wanted to do it. What was the purpose? What benefits did they want? That master said it was a woman. Tang Bao knew a few women around him. Who could it be? Yu Songhuan knew that Di Haotian had something to say. However, he still felt a little overwhelmed by the pressure he was releasing. If you have something to say, just say it. I've wronged her. I hope you've wronged her. That way, she won't have to stay in the bungalow and do those tiring things, Di Haotian said. You're not teaching her. You're torturing her. Torturing her is the same as torturing your son. Yu Songhuan's expression changed. She didn't expect Di Haotian to make this matter sound so serious. I won't say anything else. You've seen it now. Someone used your belief in Buddhism to set a trap for you to force me to divorce Tang Bao. I can tell you now that I will never get a divorce in this life. As for the fact that I won't be childless, don't take it to heart. Tang Bao is still young. I don't plan to let her have children at an age when she wants to play, at least not now. Who doesn't have children after marriage? Yu Songhuan disagreed. That's what I mean, Di Haotian said. In other words, it had nothing to do with Tang Bao. Do you really want to sacrifice yourself like this? Give up your life's happiness? Is it my fault that you have to repay me like this? No one can force me to do what I don't want to do, not even you, Di Haotian said. Do you care about her that much? What can she give you? No one can give me what she can give me. Tang Bao tossed and turned on the bed, thinking about what secrets Di Haotian and Yu Songhuan were going to talk about. And they didn't want her to eavesdrop? That's not right. Why did Di Haotian say that she was eavesdropping? Had she been caught eavesdropping before? It seemed like she had only eavesdropped once, right? The air was filled with invasiveness. Tang Bao sat up with a start. Di Haotian had already entered the bedroom. His tall figure had a strong presence. Di Haotian, what are you talking about? Why can't I eavesdrop? Tang Bao pouted. She jumped off the bed. Di Haotian looked at Tang Bao's youthful and active appearance. He thought that if she really gave birth to a child, other people would think that she was the older sister when they saw the teenage Tang Bao, right? However, Di Haotian really didn't want Tang Bao to have a child so early. Chapter 2:11. Di Haotian, what are you thinking about? Tang Bao saw Di Haotian staring at her in a daze and couldn't help but interrupt. I'm thinking about whether to continue what we didn't finish last night, Di Haotian said with his dark eyes. Tang Bao's little heart trembled. She took a few steps back from him. Di Haotian, it's broad daylight. Can't you think about something else? Tang Bao couldn't believe that she was asking Di Haotian about something so serious. He was actually thinking about such a shameful thing? Did he have to be so scary? Do I need to pick a time to do this? Di Haotian raised his dark eyebrows. Evil suddenly appeared. Didn't you already do it so many times last night? It doesn't seem to be enough. It seems. Tang Bao was scared silly. How could this person's needs be so terrifying? How was she going to live in the future? Wouldn't being treated by a fierce and powerful person like Di Haotian completely destroy her? Di Haotian saw her shrinking in fear and smiled with his dark eyes. This smile made Tang Bao even more frightened. Why did he smile? She felt that Di Haotian's smile was worse than his smile. It was especially scary. I'll let you go today. Di Haotian was evil and awe-inspiring. I'm going to the company. Di Haotian thought that she would be bored in the castle alone if she went to the company to play. So he said, I'll send you there. Are you going out too? Tang Bao asked. To tea. On the way back to tea after sending Tang Bao back to the company, He Ju asked, Young master, do you still want to investigate the Buddhist temple? No need. Young master, you know who's behind it. There's no one else who went to the bungalow except for Li Yuhuai. Di Haotian didn't even need to investigate to know. This kind of insignificant skill was nothing in front of him. As expected of a family, they're all the same. He Ju said. Otherwise, why would it be called the death of the whole family? Di Haotian's eyes flashed with ruthlessness. Why are you here? Seeing Tang Bao walk in with ease, Wan Milei, who was working, stood up curiously and walked forward to ask, How could a conscientious person like me not come to the company? Tang Bao said without blushing or skipping a beat. Wan Milei really wanted to despise him, but in the end, she didn't because she was afraid that Tang Bao would make her work like an ox or a horse again. After young Master Di came back, the two of them didn't get intimate? But looking at you, I don't think anything happened. How did you know? Tang Bao was more curious than her. Her gait is light, and there are no gaps in her gait. Will it be like that the first time? Tang Bao asked. Yes, just like that. Isn't that too ugly? Tang Bao learned something new. It's not always like that. You can walk normally after you recover, Wan Milei said. Tang Bao thought, if she really did what Di Haotian did, would she still be able to recover? That person even said that she wouldn't be able to get out of bed for a week. She didn't want to talk about this topic with Wan Milei. She felt that she would be pressured. So she changed the topic. Let me tell you something. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Is it about me? Wan Milei asked nervously. It's yours, a bad thing. Tang Bao looked at her speechlessly. Why is my life so hard? Wan Milei wailed. If it's yours, I'll definitely laugh 3 times. It's not mine. It's the abbot who said that I can't have children. Do you still remember? Tang Bao didn't want to talk nonsense with her and asked. It's only been a few days. Of course, I remember. Why? After Di Haotian came back and found out about it, he went to investigate. Then he found out that someone was behind it. Damn. That's too wicked. Who is it? I don't know. Di Haotian didn't say. I don't know if he knows. On the surface, it seems like he doesn't know. If we find out, we should torture that person for 3 days and 3 nights. Wan Milei said angrily. I think I might know who it is. Tang Bao touched his chin and looked very thoughtful. No way? Even Di Haotian doesn't know. You know? Wan Milei didn't believe it. He didn't experience it personally. It's normal that he doesn't know. Also, don't underestimate my intelligence. Don't underestimate me. You're making life difficult for yourself. Tang Bao said arrogantly. Okay. I won't underestimate you. Tell me. There are a few suspects. First, it's Xiao Rui. Didn't she always dislike me and want me to divorce Di Haotian? Second, it's Lan Wanru. She likes Di Haotian. It seems like everyone in the Di family knows that. She's even more scheming than Xiao Rui. She wants to replace me. She's better than any other woman. Third, it's you. What the hell? Why are you counting me? Wan Milei was shocked. He looked at Tang Bao, flabbergasted. Don't be so nervous. I'm just taking into account the women around me. Wan Milei said with a black face. You shouldn't count me. You should count all the women who like Di Haotian. That's too many. It's not easy to check. How many women liked Di Haotian? That would take a few laps around Di City. Don't talk about the first and second. Just tell me who's the most suspicious. Isn't that enough? He was really long-winded. It's Lan Wanru. Why? Think about it. The only people who went to the bungalow were Li Yuhuai and Lan Wanru. And it was the two of them who took the initiative to talk about having a child. They even asked Di Haotian's mother to do a divination. How could she be so sure that I would be the one with the wrong result? Since it was good, why did she have to do a divination? So she made preparations first, bribed the abbot, and waited for Di Haotian's mother to come. Tang Bao said, "That seems to make a lot of sense." That's right. If they didn't mention it, Di Haotian's mother wouldn't have thought of doing a divination. She wanted me to do the housework. Tang Bao shook his head and said sadly, "Then you have to guard against them in the future." "I've always been on guard. It's still a mistake." Tang Bao curled his lips. "But you don't have to worry. With the young master around, you don't have to be afraid of anything." "Is that so?" "It seems to be true." Tang Bao's eyes had a sweet smile as he leaned on the desk. His chest suddenly rubbed against the edge of the desk. Tang Bao cried out in pain. He quickly covered his chest with his hand. "What's wrong? You have chest pain again?" Wan Milei asked. "How did you know? You have a chronic illness, right? It started when you were in school. You really don't need to go to the hospital?" Wan Milei, who didn't know the inside story, asked with concern. Tang Bao's face turned red. "No need. I just accidentally bumped into it." "That's true." "What's true?" "It's too big. It's easy to bump into it." Chapter 212. Tang Bao felt uneasy. Based on the force yesterday, it was very likely that it would be damaged. While the two of them were talking, there was a knock on the office door. Qin Shu walked in and said, "President Tang, someone wants to see you." "Who is it?" "It's that big star, Vice President Zhou's ex-wife, Yu Lianlian," Qin Shu said. "My idol is here." Before Tang Bao could say anything, Wan Milei shouted, "You won't let her in, will you?" "I won't. What can you do to me?" Tang Bao pursed his lips and said to Qin Shu, "Let her in." He did not look at Wan Milei's flattering and grateful smile. He felt that his eyes would hurt if he looked at her. He just did not know why Yu Lianlian was looking for her. They were not that close. After Yu Lianlian came in, she was simply dressed in jewelry. Without Tang Bao saying anything, Wan Milei had already prepared tea. She gently placed it in front of Yu Lianlian. Yu Lianlian smiled and said, "Thank you. You're welcome. It's what I should do." After Wan Milei said that, she left the office. Tang Bao sat down on the sofa and asked, "You came here specially to look for me?" "Yes. You're Zhou Zhishan's boss. I feel happy that you're suppressing him." Tang Bao thought to himself, "I'm not suppressing him. I've been divorced from Zhou Zhishan for 3 years. I've always regretted it. But I didn't expect that when I mentioned divorce, he would immediately agree." Tang Bao thought to himself, "Why is Di Haotian not so easy to talk to? But why did Yu Lianlian come here to talk to me about this?" "I want to remarry him, and I want your help," Yu Lianlian said directly. "You want my help? How can I help? This is Zhou Zhishan's private matter. Even if I'm his boss, I can't interfere in this." Tang Bao was embarrassed. "I'm not asking you to really say anything to him. As long as you create opportunities for the two of us from time to time, it will be fine. If you really want to remarry him so badly, you can use sincere actions to move him. The effect may be better," Tang Bao said. "I've already tried many methods, but he's still indifferent. I only came to you because I had no other choice." "I'm sorry. This is your private matter. I really can't do anything about it." How could Tang Bao agree to such a thing? She wasn't that bored. If the two of them really couldn't be together, was she going to get involved? It was too inappropriate. "If I show you something, how about we trade? If you agree to help me, I'll show you what I have here." "What is it?" "It's something you're very interested in. What if you're lying to me and I agree?" Yu Lianlian did not make any deal with her. She took out her phone, flipped through it twice, and handed it to Tang Bao. You can flip to the back. When Tang Bao saw the photo album on the phone, she was stunned. In the photo, Xiao Rui walked out of the neighborhood and got into a car that she was very familiar with. After getting into the car drove away. I happened to be filming in that neighborhood that day and saw this scene. I was thinking, are all rich men like this, eating from the bowl and looking at the pot? I don't want Zhou Zhishan to be such a person. I want to return to Zhou Zhishan's side so much because I don't want to be taken away by another woman. You're different. What you want is to strengthen your position. In the end, the two of us are similar, Yu Lianlian said. When was this taken? Tang Bao asked. I remember very clearly. It was last Thursday around 5 o'clock. I was finishing work and preparing for dinner. Tang Bao calculated which time Di Haotian did not return to the castle for dinner. She thought of the day when she and Wan Malay went to the Ling brand store and met Lan Wanru. Di Haotian said that he had something to do and would not return to the castle, so she pulled Wan Malay along for dinner. She thought that Di Haotian was busy with business, but it turned out that he went to see Xiao Rui. Why did Xiao Rui not appear for so long? Was it because Di Haotian was looking for her? So it did not matter whether she divorced Di Haotian or not. How about it? This thing is very important to you, right? Then let's exchange, how about it? Tang Bao did not say anything. She deleted the photo on the phone and handed the phone to Yu Lianlian. Yu Lianlian smiled. Even if you didn't delete it, I would have deleted it after showing it to you. Aren't you afraid that Di Haotian will find out? Tang Bao asked. Yu Lianlian maintained the smile on her face and said confidently, You're not that kind of person. I'm telling you out of kindness so that you won't be kept in the dark. You know what Di Haotian does, so you don't have to make a scene. This is the most important thing for a woman to fail at. Tang Bao thought to himself, that's not necessarily true. I never play by the rules. How about it? Do you agree to help me? It's okay if you don't agree. I won't be angry. I'll think about it, Tang Bao said. After Yu Lianlian left, she added, I'll think about it, my ass. Wan Malay, who walked in, heard it and asked, What's your ass? I fed her a fart, Tang Bao said. Seeing that Wan Malay did not get angry, she asked, You don't have a problem with it? You seem to be in a bad mood. What's wrong? Wait until I ask clearly before you get angry. You're so annoying. Tang Bao was so angry that she leaned on the desk. What exactly did Yu Lianlian say to you? Should I believe in Di Haotian? Tang Bao looked up and asked again. What's wrong with the young master? Yu Lianlian took a photo of Zhang Xiaorui getting into Di Haotian's car and showed it to me. It was that day, the day I took you out for a meal and went shopping. I met Lan Wanru and made her faint. Do you remember? I remember. The young master even called you back. What's the problem? Wan Malay was surprised. Did the young master and Xiao Rui go on a date? You think so too, right? I'm not being unreasonable, am I? Tang Bao slammed the table and stood up. But why did the young master look for Xiao Rui? Wan Malay did not understand. He must think that Xiao Rui is better than me and wants to go back to her. Wan Malay comforted Tang Bao. They're probably just having a meal. It's nothing. Why do they have to go for a meal? Why would the two of them have a meal together? Wan Malay was speechless. She racked her brains to think of a reason, but she could not think of one. The key point was that Xiao Rui was no longer the savior of the young master's mother. So, why would he have a meal with Xiao Rui? Wan Malay could not say it, and Tang Bao was also lying on the desk in a low mood. I know why Di Haotian went to Xiao Rui, she said sullenly. Why? Because I didn't do that kind of thing with him, so he went to Xiao Rui. Oh, would he? Why not? Tang Bao asked back. Chapter 213. How can someone he doesn't like be qualified to eat with him? Wan Malay didn't know what to say. She didn't understand either. Xiao Rui was such a sensitive existence. Why did the young master look for her? Couldn't he not look for her? It wasn't Tang Bao's fault for letting her imagination run wild. Even she was thinking too much. Is he the only one who knows how to find women? I know how to find men too. Tang Bao roared. Bao, don't be impulsive. Wan Malay's hands were blurry as she quickly stopped her. Accompany me to the bar tonight. The young master has no objections? It's none of his business. I'm going to find a male model who's 1,000 times more handsome than him. Tang Bao's expression was particularly ferocious. Tang Bao wanted to tell Di Haotian that she was going to socialize in the afternoon. She decided not to call him and sent a message instead. Alluring Baoer, I'm going to socialize in the evening. Don't wait for me. I'll go back by myself. After sending the message, her phone rang. It was Di Haotian. Tang Bao cursed in her heart. Why did he call? Why did you add me if you didn't use the chat app? She picked up. What? What do you think? Di Haotian's domineering aura came over coldly. I didn't do anything. I'm just going out to socialize in the evening. You're not allowed to go. I don't go out every day. Why can't I allow it? Can there be a limit to your overbearingness? The more you don't let me go, the more I want to go. Tang Bao hung up the phone angrily. Not long after the phone call ended, the chat app had a reaction. She opened it. Host, try drinking. Tang Bao bit her lip and glared. Only you're allowed to drink and look for your old lover. I can't even drink? However, she didn't go to the bar to drink in the first place. It was fine if she didn't want to drink. Tang Bao and Wan Malay went to the bar that night and found a private room. She said to the waiter, "Give us the best male model in the private room. How many do you want?" "Give me as many as you can. I want to pick slowly." "Okay, please wait a moment," the waiter said and left. Wan Malay asked nervously and excitedly, "Are you serious?" "Of course." After Tang Bao said that, he turned to Wan Malay and said, "Don't be shy. Just pick whatever you like." Wan Malay thought, I'd better not. When the young master pursued the matter, at least she did not help the evildoer. Before long, the male models came in one by one. They stood in a row in front of them. She was wearing slim-fit clothes that outlined her curve. It was true that she was tall and slim, but she was too skinny. And that face, it was very ordinary. Tang Bao shook his head in disappointment and asked the male supervisor, "Is that all?" The male supervisor said, "Then let's change to another batch?" Change. Then, the male models lined up and left, just like when they came. Wan Malay said, "She's really not that good, but the clothes she wears are very flirtatious." Ha ha ha. You can't just pick people based on their clothes. You have to look at the lines of their bodies under their clothes. They're like pork ribs. They don't look good at all. Wan Malay asked sneakily, "Is the young master the best in comparison?" "It's just so. Tang Bao raised his little head and said indifferently, "How is that average? His body must be full of sexy muscles. Even if he's wearing clothes, women will scream when they see him." Tang Bao's expression changed, and he stopped Wan Malay. "Don't talk about him." Okay. Let's not talk about him. Your male models are here." Tang Bao looked at the new batch of male models. They were indeed better than the first batch. However, if she really wanted to compare them with Di Haotian, she didn't have to be picky. She would definitely go home disappointed. Di Haotian's figure was good-looking. It was strong and firm. Every part of him was so sexy and full of wild power. No, change another batch. Tang Bao was not satisfied. Then, the male models went out again. At this moment, Di Haotian was alone in the castle, smoking a cigarette. The smoke lingered with a deep charm. His dark eyes narrowed slightly as he looked at the night outside the floor-to-ceiling window. The outline of his face became colder and harder in the darkness. However, his face was a little dark. It was obvious that he was in a bad mood. He was playing with the lighter in his other hand, and it made a clicking sound. It was rhythmic, like the beating of a heart. It made people panic. Young master. He-Ju walked in. Did she drink? Di Haotian asked calmly. No. She's well behaved? It's just that, although the young madam didn't drink, she's attracting men. He-Ju finished. Di Haotian was stunned. The cigarette but almost burned him. His face suddenly darkened and his voice was cold. What do you think she's doing? The young madam is attracting men, He-Ju said under pressure. Di Haotian's face was dark and frightening. Damn it, she really needs to be taught a lesson. When Di Haotian and the others arrived at the bar, Tang Bao was watching a male model pole dancing on the stage. This was the one she was slightly satisfied with after a long time. Wow, his waist is so strong. Wan Malay's eyes lit up as she stared at the male model's waist. I think his butt is good. It's perky, Tang Bao said. That's for sure. He came from a dancing background, so his figure must be good. Tang Bao thought to himself that he still couldn't compare to Di Haotian. But this dance was not bad. Halfway through the dance, the male model took off his clothes, revealing his naked upper body. It looked even more enchanting and attractive. Wow! Wan Malay clapped excitedly. Tang Bao laughed and stood up. Take off your pants if you dare. Wan Malay almost fell off the sofa. But Wan Malay didn't fall. When the door of the private room was violently kicked open, when she saw the menacing figure and the cold face, Tang Bao unfortunately fell off the sofa. The male model stopped dancing as well. Get out! Di Haotian's voice was fierce. His aura was strong and terrifying. The male model felt that something was wrong. Because of Di Haotian's unfriendly aura, he trembled in fear and hurriedly ran away. Wan Malay, who had been sitting there, also ran away when Di Haotian looked over. At this time, friends were not important. Life was more important. Suddenly, only Tang Bao and Di Haotian were left in the private room. Tang Bao was stunned by Di Haotian's violent aura. He trembled and said, You. What are you doing? I didn't drink. You were obedient and didn't drink. So you attracted men? Di Haotian's black eyes were almost burning. What attracted men? You're making it sound too bad. Tang Bao refused to admit it. Then what were you doing just now? Chapter 214. The dawn of life was right in front of her. She must work hard and be careful. When the distance was about right, Tang Bao tried her best to run to the door. However, she ignored Di Haotian's speed. His long arms directly grabbed her and lifted her up. Tang Bao felt dizzy and was thrown onto the sofa. Di Haotian's dark figure immediately pounced on her. The whole darkness covered Tang Bao's slender body. She was so frightened by Di Haotian's strength and fierceness that her eyes suddenly widened. You want to recruit? Did I not satisfy you? Di Haotian pulled her clothes. Her clothes could not bear the force and with a rip they tore. Di Haotian, you're crazy! Tang Bao pushed Di Haotian with her hand. However, Di Haotian was too strong. He only pushed her muscles, but she did not move at all. Di Haotian, what are you doing? Tang Bao struggled. However, she could not stop Di Haotian from doing what he wanted to do. What do you think I want to do? You need to be taught a lesson. Di Haotian scolded angrily. He tore off Tang Bao's clothes. This clothes has been touched by other men. Throw it away. She felt a chill in the air, and was so scared that her whole body was tense. It was useless to be tense. Di Haotian slapped her. Ah! Di Haotian, you tyrant, the devil! Tang Bao shouted as she felt a burning pain in her body. Then I'll show you what a devil is. Ah! No, no, no. Tang Bao reached out and grabbed the sofa under her. She wanted to escape from Di Haotian's clutches. Baby, don't waste your energy. Without my permission, you can't run anywhere. Oh! Tang Bao trembled all over. She felt pain and numbness, like an electric current flowing through her body. Her face suddenly flushed red. Her pitiful little mouth was tightly clenched as she endured. Other people's figures are good? Does the baby think it's beautiful? Di Haotian's rough voice carried a dangerous hostility. Tang Bao's body stiffened. Di Haotian heard it? What? Are you disappointed to hear that? That's not what I meant. Tang Bao did not expect Di Haotian to overhear him. Wasn't he outside the door? Even if he was outside the door a second ago, there was still a door between them. How could his ears be so sharp? There are other meanings in it? Tell me. No, no more. Di Haotian, it hurts. Tang Bao frowned uncontrollably. It hurts now. Weren't you happy just now? The anger on Di Haotian's face began to change. There was a gloomy fluctuation in his vast and deep black eyes. There were surging emotions. How was I happy? I was just telling the truth. Other people's dancing is really good and their bodies are really good. Tang Bao's tone changed. You're asking for it. Di Haotian's expression was cold and stern as he increased the strength of his hand. No. Tang Bao hoped that he would quickly take his hand out. She really could not stand it and felt very uncomfortable. Di Haotian's black eyes were slightly stunned, and his hand movements also stopped. Tang Bao let out a panicked breath. She thought to herself that if she had known that this would work, she would have said it just now. She would not have felt so uncomfortable until now. However, she did not see the evil smile on Di Haotian's face. She picked up the cup on the coffee table and smashed it at Di Haotian's head. However, her wrist was caught by the iron chain. It only took a little bit of strength to control Tang Bao. Di Haotian's black eyes flashed with a teasing light. Baby, this is the fourth time. Do you still want to smash it? He asked. What did you say? Say it again. Tang Bao's eyes shone fiercely. She bared her sharp teeth and bit down hard on Di Haotian's finger. Di Haotian grunted. Little wolf dog. Tang Bao thought angrily, if it's really a little wolf dog, I'll bite off your finger directly. Why are you so nervous? Di Haotian's words were extremely evil. His expression did not change, as if this was not a big deal. However, to Tang Bao, it shocked her out of her wits. Di Haotian wanted to let her eat his? This person was crazy. Did he think that she would eat it? Do you want to rest here for a while? Tang Bao's face was red, but so were her eyes. This was because she thought about it. Would Di Haotian also say the same thing to Xiao Rui? Would he come back for her after he was done with Xiao Rui? The more she thought about it, the more she felt that it was possible. The more she thought about it, the more uncomfortable she felt. Crystal clear water droplets gathered in her large black and white eyes. Chapter 2:15. Di Haotian thought that Tang Bao was probably crying because she was too conservative. I don't want to do that kind of thing with you. Go find someone else. Tang Bao pushed Di Haotian hard. Without any push, she struggled to get off the sofa and stood up to leave the private room. Bao Bao. Di Haotian frowned slightly. Did he really make her angry? Damn it, shouldn't he be the one who should be angry? She came here to look for a prostitute. How could she be so unreasonable? Tang Bao ignored Di Haotian and pretended that she did not hear him calling her. She walked straight out. She saw Di Haotian's black luxury car. Tang Bao got angry when she saw it. She turned around and walked away. However, before she could take 2 steps, Di Haotian's long arms wrapped around her. Let go of me. I don't want to sit in your car. Tang Bao struggled. Di Haotian ignored her struggle and forcefully brought her into the car. Once she got into the car, Tang Bao would definitely not be able to escape. Of course, even if she did not get into the car, she would not be able to leave. Tang Bao bit her lip and angrily turned her face to the car window to look at the night sky outside. Anyway, she did not look at Di Haotian. Di Haotian saw that she was so angry that she did not even look at him. He directly pulled her over to sit on his lap. What are you doing? Can't you just let me sit there properly? Tang Bao asked angrily. No. Even if you don't like it, I ate what was in your mouth just now. What's there to be angry about? Besides, if we really do it in the future, it will be much more excessive than this, Di Haotian said. Tang Bao turned to look at Di Haotian in shock and astonishment. She could not come back to her senses. From what he said, what he did just now was just a piece of cake. Di Haotian, tell me honestly, how many women have you had in the past? Tang Bao felt that Di Haotian must have had a lot of women. Otherwise, how could he know so much? Don't have too many tricks up your sleeve. A strange look flashed across Di Haotian's dark eyes. A few. How many is how many? 2 is a few, 9 is also a few. 2. Tang Bao thought, so little? Other than Xiao Rui, there was only one other person. I don't believe that you only have 2. Then how many do you think I have? Di Haotian stared at her and asked. 9. Why are there so many? You know everything. You have so many tricks up your sleeve. If you didn't make friends with so many women, how could you know so much? Tang Bao was furious. Thinking about how Di Haotian had been with so many women, the knot in her heart could not be eased. Di Haotian smacked his lips in annoyance and said, Do I still need to learn this kind of thing? Don't you need to learn? Tang Bao was shocked. Don't you know this kind of thing even though you don't have any experience? That's different. Di Haotian held her waist and bit her little earlobe. He said in a low and husky voice, All my experience is used to make you happy. Don't always bite my ear. Tang Bao felt a wave of numbness that made her dodge. Are you still angry? Di Haotian asked dotingly. Angry? Because of what? You have had women, but I don't have a single man. It's not fair. Tang Bao was still angry. These words were like touching Di Haotian's reverse scale. His expression suddenly changed and he said coldly, How many men do you want? Tang Bao was shocked by the dangerous aura around him. Her little mouth moved, but she did not say anything. Instead, she got down from Di Haotian's body and sat in the seat furthest away from him. Di Haotian's expression became even colder and gloomier. She was starting to look into his past and was taking advantage of him. Tang Bao shrank back by the car door and began to think about it. Why could Di Haotian clearly remember the 2 women he had only had sex with in the past? Did those 2 women leave a deep impression on him? Was that why he couldn't forget them? Then who was the other woman? It turned out that he did not only have Xiao Rui, but also another Xiao Rui. Dealing with Xiao Rui was already a headache for her, but now she had to deal with another one. Would she appear again and arrogantly ask her to divorce Di Haotian? Tang Bao's anger could not be quelled. Now Di Haotian was entangled with Xiao Rui. If there was another one, she could forget about living well for the rest of her life. Should she still marry Di Junbai? At least he did not have a single woman. How happy would it be to live a stable life? Di Haotian still dared to give her a hard time. He was not repentant at all. He was domineering and dictatorial. The atmosphere in the car was low all the way. When they arrived at the castle, Tang Bao got out of the car and looked terrible all the way. After walking into the hall, she did not go upstairs. Instead, she sat down on the sofa in the hall. She looked at Di Haotian coldly and arrogantly as he walked to the stairs, ignoring her. Tang Bao grabbed a cushion and was about to throw it at him. However, Di Haotian seemed to have eyes on the back of his head. He warned her coldly, Try and smash it. Tang Bao's hand froze, but she did not throw the cushion. She threw it on the sofa angrily. She thought to herself, It's not that I don't dare to throw it at you, but if I want to throw it, I'll knock you out. After Di Haotian went upstairs, Tang Bao sat on the sofa and watched TV. She decided that she would be at odds with Di Haotian. I'm hungry. I want to eat. Tang Bao shouted toward the ceiling of the castle. Zhang Li walked over. Young madam, what do you want to eat? I want to eat assorted noodles. Tang Bao did not eat much at night. She was so angry that she could not eat. She thought that she would be in a better mood after running to the bar to find a male model. She did not expect that not only did she not feel better, but the discomfort in her heart became even worse. She could not believe that Di Haotian was such a person. But how could she explain those photos? Di Haotian even lied to her that he had something to deal with. How could she believe it? Young madam? Young madam? Tang Bao came back to her senses and saw Zhang Li standing in front of her. Ah! Are you okay? Zhang Li asked worriedly. I'm fine. What's wrong? The assorted noodles are ready. Do you want to eat in the restaurant? Zhang Li asked. Let's eat here. I'll choose a good horror movie and watch it while we eat. Zhang Li was speechless. What? It's okay. I'll bring it to you now. Zhang Li turned around and left. After a while, he brought the assorted noodles to her. It was placed on the coffee table in front of her. Zhang Li said, The coffee table is a little low. Is it convenient to eat? Do you want me to get someone to change the table? No need. I'll sit on the carpet. Tang Bao sat down on the soft carpet and crossed her legs. She sniffed the assorted noodles. Wow. It smells so good. It makes me hungrier. Zhang Li smiled and turned to leave. Tang Bao stopped him. Do you have anything else to do? No. Then watch a horror movie with me. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.